Yeah, I just would like to keep it moving.
Well, he did have some folks right in that now.
Yes, sir. This is a brethren I met on Facebook.
Long brother.
Yes, originally from Virginia.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Maybe I'm here. Yes, brother.
How much of this you want?
Oh, we good, ain't we?
Good?
All right,
We
y'all
live?
feel the same, y'all. We get it caught up.
All right, y'all.
Yeah. Shabbat shalom, y'all.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom to the worldwide family. Peaceful Sabbath day, y'all. As we get about our Father's business. Y'all, we're going to go ahead and get started. Go get caught up, y'all. We're a little few minutes behind. Like I say, once again, Shabbat shalom to everyone, to the worldwide family. Y'all know how we do. We turn toward Holy Jerusalem. Men are to uncover their head. Women are to cover their head when praying or prophesying within the assembly. Y'all, we want 1 Tim chapter 2, verse 8. Lift our hands up high, y'all. We want the Most High to lift us up today as we get fed on this glorious feast day today, y'all. One day closer to Holy Jerusalem. Go ahead, bro.
All right, family. We're going to get this opening prayer. And it's with the Most High's permission. And it's in the name of his only begotten and beloved Son, our Lord and Savior, and our Redeemer, Yahushua HaMashiach. But we know him as Jesus the Christ, y'all. Long live the King. Long live the King. Reading in the book of Psalms. In the first chapter, it reads, Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Most High, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For Yahweh knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. Hallelujah! Say what? All right then. That's what's up right there.
Bro, we got some vittles over there if you want to help yourself to some vittles.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything.
Let's introduce Ak, man, all the way in town.
This is our brother, Yahuda Benadad.
Shalom,
originally from Virginia.
Yes, sir.
Through Ohio.
Yes, sir. To the loop?
Yeah.
I heard that, bro.
He's a pilgrim in the earth.
Yes.
Yes,
sir.
Praise.
Hallelujah. It's my first time laying earthly eyes on my family.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we've been corresponding via social media and everything, and yeah.
That's wonderful,
bro.
That's what's up, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Shabbat shalom.
Y'all just want to send out, as we always do, y'all want to send out prayers for our family member, Sister Stacy Young. You know, her mother, the surgery was successful. She had stage 3 cancer, y'all. So right now she's recovering well, but Sister say it's a little bit of ways to go. So want continuous prayer going up, y'all, for Sister Stacy.
Right.
As well as the house of Uriah.
Yes, sir.
Need continued prayer. Also, Elijah, your aunt taking ill a little bit.
My aunt battling stage 4 cancer, so they just moved her to hospice yesterday. So, you know, it's in the hands of the Most High.
That's right.
You know, if you lift up prayers on behalf of the family. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. And also prayers are still lifted up for Brother Jacob's childhood friend,
Kent.
Kent. You know, yeah, he say doing a little bit better. Seen some photos of him sitting up, you know, with the remote control. Good. So hopefully this thing is turning in the right direction, but need to continue prayer. You know, for all of Israel that need it in this hour, y'all. It's our only weapon against this.
That's right.
This trouble we face. But y'all, today's lesson, a prophet's journey. And what we want to do is take a lesson today based on the last days, y'all. What we're trying to do is, shalom, like everybody. We want to continue to get some understanding on things that appear to be contradictory, or somebody is starting to teach in these last days, y'all, because if we keep saying the last days and don't get prepared for them, we're going to get caught up.
That's right.
1 Timothy 4 said in the last day, some going to come telling you to depart from certain things and going to twist it and turn it a bunch of different ways. Mm-hmm. Diet for one of them. They'll go to scripts to make you doubt this book called Holy. And once you do that, y'all, you might as well get out the game.
Yep.
Because your conscience going to beat you alive.
Yeah.
You're going to be, maybe it's one of these things that they say is tampered with, or is it just me? I want to do something wrong. Maybe it's me on this one. No, cause. See, so you out of the game, y'all, if we say that it's got any tamperings in it.
Right.
And we constantly say, you know, you're talking about translation of language. Don't change law.
That's right.
Stealing is stealing in all the countries in the world. Mm-hmm. They may call it a different term, and they may apply different punishments. But when the translator, you ask the translator, why is he getting that rod put on him like that? Mm. And why is his left hand cut off? See, someday you know automatically, well, the cut off hand and marks on his back.
Right.
He a repeated criminal. He likes to steal.
Yeah.
See, and when they cut that left hand off, because how they eat, you pass the food with the right hand, and you wipe your rear end with the left hand. So if they cut, shalom, y'all. So if they cut the right hand off, then you're both eating and wiping with that hand. You can't sit at this table.
You defile.
Look, your hand may go through the toilet tissue all the time. You can't pass me no biscuits.
See, he's a hard worker.
Boy, look here. So you have to eat over there. But when we get through, no matter what the punishment is, what is it about? Why are you in that condition?
Because he's
stealing.
Law breaking.
Yeah.
Law breaking.
Yo, like I said, the only thing you can do now is work at Krispy Kreme and just get the donuts and put them on there. Next!
You just call them the dipper.
Yeah, boy, look good. Let's get some more, y'all. You got any questions or concerns out there? Y'all know how we get down. What's on your heart, mind, and soul before we get wrong? Go ahead, our Jeremiah. Name of the class is A Prophet's Journey. We're going to deal with two prophets' situation in crunch time, during famine time, during trouble time. Y'all, that we get some good understanding because, like it's saying, in the last days, these things going to happen. And we're going to read just two of those last day things so it sets up what we're speaking about. Because it's dealing with captivity, but there's a term in here called eating your bread defiled. What does that necessarily mean? What does that open up the door for? If you eating it defiled, how you gonna tell somebody they can't eat chitlins? I mean, is it level of defilement that you can't eat, or you know only got a little bit of defilement? No, y'all. When we get to the summary, well, the subject matter. And then how the summary will wind it up, y'all, we'll see that it wasn't relating to that at all. Because there's a lot of other events going on in there, or like you say, a lot of meat in that subject matter.
That's right.
That explains eating your bread defiled while you're in captivity, because it has to match up. It has to match up.
Line upon line.
But it cannot break law. It can't break law. The Most High can't put you in a situation that makes you break the law.
No.
you'll be saying on Judgment Day, I know that one ain't on my list. Now you can get me about that, and you can get me about putting my hand over there, but that one you can't get me about eating.
Right. The free case.
Right. Shalom says.
Shalom says.
So that's a free case. Most High don't give out no free cases, y'all.
Not at all.
So y'all, anything out there too by before we get rolling?
And brethren, if you have any questions, man, don't hesitate.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So we good too by?
Yeah, we good.
Okay.
Got that change from those about it.
Okay, now y'all know how we get down. Yahushua Hamashiach, the true and only begotten Son of the Father, crowned as the high priest of the order of Melchizedek, and him alone. And y'all know how he displayed the law, same laws but different priests, male, female, rich or poor, free or bond, Jew or Gentile is covered under the order of Melchizedek. You have to know your priesthood. You have to know who your high priest is, or they'll slip you an errand and give you some brother.
Right.
That'll twist you up, that'll read the scriptures in a different way to make you be subservient to him. Can't have it, y'all. So, y'all, we're going to get with the administration of the Most High's order at Melchizedek, because it's the same administration, y'all. We're going to see it happening in the old. But let's get a little bit of that 1 Corinthians 12 so we can see. Shalom, AZ. What's going on?
And while you going to this, I had a conversation with some brothers earlier this week. I was tuned in to one of their live class teachings, and brothers were saying some things, and besides saying some things, they was teaching with their heads covered at the same time. So
Right.
I politely, said something like, that brother, need to move his head.
Right.
Like doing the service of the Most High, and they got contentious against me about it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we don't have to do that and this and that, blah blah blah. So,
And that says that in 1 Corinthians 11.
Yeah. So
that many will become contentious over this ordinance that they failed to read in verse 2.
Yeah.
Right.
So I basically threw that at him. You know what I'm saying? He's like, man, we don't feel we have to abide by that because it's not written in the law. I said, but the first verse say, keep the ordinance, as I am.
What is an ordinance?
Right.
And then, but basically, he's saying, be followers of Christ as I am a follower of Christ.
Right.
But he said, since it's not in the law, we don't feel we have to
Well, they don't
abide by that. But then the second verse says, and keep the ordinances.
Right.
It is in the law. It's Numbers 30.
It is.
It's Numbers 30, but they're not understanding it from that perspective because it's spiritual. They'll think this is literal, but why they say they don't have to uncover this because 2 Samuel 15, where David covered his head when he went up to Jerusalem. But the problem was that was about mourning. He also took the shoes off his feet.
But not only that, it said if they read that 2 Samuel 15, it says he was met at this point where he worshipped past tense.
Yeah.
And it says, if you keep reading, it says he kept going beyond that point. So it wasn't him with his head covered worshiping at that time. He was in mourning.
He was in mourning.
Going up the mountain.
Yeah.
And he kept going past the point where they had met him, where he had stopped to worship in times past. But see, they don't read for understanding's sake. They read to find condemnation or to find fault.
Right.
It's not for edification. So there's a difference. As well as when they try to go to the law of Numbers 21, it's the high priest that covered his head in the temple only. Yeah. So I asked the brother, are you a high priest? He said no. So that doesn't apply to you. This is not for a common everyday man. Right. This is not a common. And not only that, that's under the order of Aaron. Right. We under the order of Melchizedek. Yeah. So this is, so when Paul is talking, he's talking as a follower of Christ. Because he was a Pharisee. Yeah. So he knew the law upside down, side and forth, in every which way. So however, he didn't have Melchizedek. No, he didn't understand the order of Christ, which was in the beginning.
Yeah. And that's what I told him. I said, so whose order are we under? Are we still under Aaron's order, or are we under the order of Melchizedek? You know what I'm saying? oh, well, we go back to the Exodus, and he going. I said,
oh, you know about Aaron.
He said because Paul writing his name. I said, well, you might throw away the whole New Testament.
Right. This is the thing, Az. Everyone that wants to flee back to Aaron, because see, it's easy to look the part of Aaron.
Yeah,
you can't look Melchizedek.
You know what else
Melchizedek don't have a physical look, right. So you can't look the part of Melchizedek.
Right.
But you can look the part of Aaron.
It's in the heart.
It's in the heart. You can't wear that outside. So they don't want Melchizedek.
Right.
I can look like Aaron though. See, I can wear the priestly garments. I can put on the ephod. I can look the part. But in Melchizedek, it's in the heart. It's the conscience sake, and that you can't show.
You can't show. It'll show on your face if it's in trouble. But everything is determined up here because that's what he said Judgment Day is about. He said, "I'm gonna judge the intent of the heart. I don't care what you did, what your hand touched. No, I want to talk. We're gonna go back to when it was drummed up in your mind.
That's right.
To make sure it ain't changed. The word say when lust, you get took by your lust because you're enticed. Right. So when it's enticed, then it grab hold of you, but that's you being enticed. So we have to make sure that up here, the Most High say, that's what I'm gonna judge. I'm gonna play it back for you how you was thinking it. See, because now you at the end results. I don't want when the baby conceived. I want to talk about the conception of when you went to have this baby of sin. Up here. See, because you could be sitting right here, man, and thinking all kind of nasty thoughts. Sometimes you just have to say, what the hell was that about?
Where'd that come from?
Get out of there. Get out of there.
Left field and you like,
get out of there.
Get thee behind me, Satan, immediately. Because that thought was left field and it came from out of nowhere.
If you think you can put on a priestly robe and that's going to have me thinking, oh, yeah, he must be really down about his crown. But he says like white as sepulchres. And full of what? No, you look good on the outside. The Messiah ain't never had us, ordered us to say, look, be concentrating on your clothes.
Right.
That you got that in the schoolmaster. You ought to know what you ought to wear. Now you got to get this right. You got to dress this up here.
And that was the conclusion of the whole matter of this conversation was we don't have to listen to that. We feel we don't have to abide by
don't
that.
Do it.
It's not in the law.
Paul says it's not contentious.
Paul was talking to the Corinthians.
Yeah.
I said no. He was talking to the Christ followers.
Yeah.
The followers of Christ. It didn't matter if they were Jew or Gentile.
Right.
But he said keep those orders which are written. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
because it's not in the law. He said orders.
Right.
Right. And then they skip over verse 4 where it says, he that prayeth and prophesied, you dishonor your head, your covering, which is Christ.
Right.
So if you putting a covering on your head, Christ can't communicate. So you covering, you blocking that communication and that covering or those directions.
It's a doctrine of the hatred of Messiah. It ain't about Paul. Paul got it from Messiah. See, or they would be telling you this is what we would hear. The Messiah say this. Paul say this. He lying. Messiah say this. Paul say this. Paul say, check my record with the Christ and see if it's any different. I know the experience on the road to Damascus. Not you, Negroes.
Because he basically saying, so are we dealing with the law because it's not dealing with the law? I said, wait a minute. We know Paul was persecuted the Jews who wasn't keeping the law. But Christ set him straight on his way to Damascus. I said, so did he go to sinning and breaking the law? Because he was under Christ? I said, no. He fulfilled what Christ set him out to do. You know what I'm saying? I said, but now he's a follower of Christ, not just the law, but the spiritual bond between him and Christ is now in effect. So now he's teaching Christ's law.
He understood Christ is the
law. That's right. He was the one.
Hey, y'all, just a little pool in here.
I
could bring out. We got a little portable here. We knock it off because this system is on season because it's a boiler system. So when winter kick, they got a date that it kicks on for winter.
Put it on, bro.
So I'll get something to just tighten it up a little bit. But continue your thought process, bro.
Yeah. So like I said, they were basically saying, we feel we don't have to abide by that rule because it wasn't written in the law and pretty much. I say, but so therefore you saying that verse 1 and verse 2 is null and void of what he said, because in the first verse, I'm going to read this first verse. It says, be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ. So that already was telling us that it wasn't nothing about the law. It was followers of Christ.
It was about the law. It was about Melchizedek law. The law, the perfect and unblemished law, which was given from the beginning
of the Spirit.
Of the Spirit. And so that's the whole thing that they're missing. They don't want the spiritual law because the spiritual law doesn't allow them to proceed with it on their vesture. You can't wear it. You can't walk outside and somebody say, oh, they got the law. He's a law keeper. Look at him. Look at how he look. See, the fringes don't do that. It's not enough. Because, see, the fringes tell you it should be a reminder of not to break the law. So the fringes ain't enough. I got to look the part. I got to look like Aaron. I got to look like a high priest. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like my brother-in-law used to say back in the day. You know, we didn't wear all, because I used to always crease all my clothes. And be like, man, why you always want to look all nice and pretty? We didn't look like that back in the day. I said, what the hell you think we look like? Right. We wore sackcloth. I say, see, that shows your lack of understanding. Right. Sackcloth was for repentance and mourning. Right. It wasn't for everyday clothing. I said, man, who gonna walk around with sackcloth every day? Boy, your skin will be ate up with all the scratches and welts and stuff, man. I said, are you kidding? We are holy people. We always look good. We always were fresh and clean and neat about ourselves because we represented that which created all. So why would we be walking around looking nasty and dirty and slummish? Even as poor people, we look good. Most of us come from the projects, didn't have a clue we were poor until somebody told you. We had no idea we were poor. We thought we had it all. But see, it's all about an appearance now. No one wants to put in the work, the necessary work of being a servant. No one wants to be called a servant. Everybody wants to exalt themselves and be the master. I'm top dog. I'm David reincarnated. I'm this, I'm that. But who wants to be the cupbearer? Why ain't nobody saying they Nehemiah the cupbearer? Or the dung bearer. Or the dung bearer. Or the piss boy. You don't get that, but somebody had to do it. But nobody's appointing that job, right? No one wants to be of the low or the base. The Most High said, I'll exalt the low.
Look, so we get a good understanding of the order of Melchizedek. This is what we have to understand, Christ's priesthood. See, and that's what everybody is struggling with. And it's the priesthood. So if you would hit Psalm 110 really quickly. And Genesis 18, just one word. Abraham met it. And then we'll get Hebrews 8. And then we'll get on the lesson at hand. But just want to clear this up just so people understand the order of Aaron and the order of Melchizedek. What they are priesthoods. When we came out of Egypt, we had to be retrained who we were because we was in 400 years of captivity in Egypt. And I'm not talking about being retrained on who we were as a people because we knew who we were as people. But it was our behavior that we had to get instructed on because we have been in a nation for 400 years. Y'all imagine, look how we argue about our people now, man. They just won't get it. Well, we've been in captivity for 400 years. Right. It's a lot of damage, y'all, that's been done to this people. I'm talking about untreated trauma based off of this that nobody else is getting but us. That's right. So, y'all, we have to understand that when we came out of Egypt after 400 years, we got reschooled on the law, statutes, and judgment. We did not get reschooled on what you want to do. We got reschooled, and it was separate from what was taking place in Egypt. Mm-hmm. That's why I say don't go back to Egypt. It don't say this Egypt is part of this new law,
Right.
which was an old law, y'all. But we'll get it real quick. Where you at, Elisha? Psalm 110.
You want 110?
Yeah, I want Psalm 110 really quickly. The first 4 or 6 verses.
It's only 7.
7, okay. And y'all, and this will explain the oath first of all. Because see, what we got is Melchizedek is some mysterious individual because it's only one high priest at a time. So you have to understand that when you say Melchizedek, the only priesthood people are akin to is the Levites. But there's rules with the Levites, like Elijah was just saying. If you weren't the son of Aaron, you couldn't go behind the holies of holies. Moses couldn't go in the holies of holies. Neither his son Gershom or none of them could go back there. They served the temple. But those high priests was Aaron and his sons.
That's right.
So there's rules in Aaron, just like there are rules in Melchizedek. But we're going to make this quick, y'all. If y'all got any questions, we'll understand it. So everything in the Old Testament of slaughtering bulls and goats, we don't do that under Melchizedek. We just put it under Christ. But you're going to know how to deal with that consciously. Because consciously, when you see anything about get a lamb and sacrifice, consciously, you got to think Christ is the Lamb of the Most High. You can't put that piece of meat above Christ. If you do the Passover and say, I must have some lamb, but yet you say Christ, Joseph is his natural father, which lamb you believe in is blemished? He's the only begotten of the Father. So how are you looking at this and then you go get a lamb? You're celebrating out of context, ain't you? John said, behold the what? Lamb of God, didn't he? Mm-hmm. And it wasn't nobody holding a lamb, was it? No. To take away the what?
Sins of the world.
No, a piece of meat can't do that, y'all. You can eat all you want, but that after you belch and make that deposit in the Mississippi, that thought process gonna come back up here before you did that, ain't it? Oh boy, look here. You can eat them all.
All right, family, we're going to be reading in the book of Psalms. In the 110th chapter.
Yes, sir.
It reads, the Lord said unto my Lord.
See, right there, who is this speaking? Because he said the Lord said to my Lord. So if this David, who could be David's Lord if he king?
Right.
Look, and, right. So who's above David at this time? It can't be talking to Saul. Saul is out of control at this point, crazy as hell. Listen.
You notice the first Lord is all capital.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
The Lord said unto my Lord, sit thou at my right hand.
Sit where?
At my right hand. Until I make thine enemies thy footstool.
Right. So David is saying it's not David. David is saying that was said to my Lord. Go ahead.
Verse 2.
Yeah.
The Lord shall send the rod of thy strength out of Zion. Rule thou in the midst of thine enemy.
Right.
Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. In the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning. Thou hast the dew of thy youth.
Right.
The Most High has sworn.
What has he done?
He hath sworn and will not repent. Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek.
So we see that it's an order. It's a priest order. Every order, like it's called the order of Aaron. There's priestly orders. When you read in Exodus, this is your duty. These are your duties. This is for the assembly of the Lord, and this is for the assembly of Israel. There was two groups still in the Old Testament. It's Levites, and then it's the other 11 tribes. That's the way it was, and that's how it was administered. A regular man couldn't just go walk back. Man, I want to go back there today. You would got killed. Aaron would have got killed if he hadn't prayed first for his sins first before going back there. Let's read some up. Where we at?
Verse 5.
Yeah.
The Most High at thy right hand shall strike through kings in the day of his wrath.
In the day of his what?
Of his wrath. He shall judge among the heathen.
Right.
He shall fill the places with the dead bodies.
Right.
He shall wound the heads over many countries. He shall drink of the brook in the way. Therefore shall he lift up the head.
And now the key word in there said, you're a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. That's what David said. He heard the Lord say that to his Lord, which is Christ. Christ is who's the head of Christ?
The Most High.
Who's the head of man?
Christ.
And who's the head? Who's man head of?
The woman.
So we got the order. So David is keeping his order. The Lord said to my Lord, this is what's going to happen for you. You're the high priest after all. Forever, it don't change.
Right.
David was operating under Aaron, but he was prophesying after Melchizedek. Because David was the foreshadowing of Messiah. And we'll look to him like that, but David fell off a couple times. Did some things he couldn't, but the Lord still loved David. But David got a great punishment for his disobedience. We can't get out of judgment, and that's what's happening with a lot of these situations. They're starting to teach doctrine that there's no judgment day. Right. So when you say the Bible is tampered with, it can't be a judgment day. That's a free case, ain't it?
Yeah.
How if I don't get it right? Well, right there, you should have been paying attention. Right there, see, I tampered with my word right there, and you didn't catch it. What kind of God they think we serve? No, when he got through with the entire world, he said, and it was good.
Right.
He didn't say it was some trouble lurking around.
Watch out, Pop, in Matthew 12.
No, it wasn't none of that. No. When he said try the soup, he gave us the spoon.
Right. Right, no doubt.
Where we at, bro? Let's get we'll see that. Y'all read these, pick it up. Y'all can get in the book of Joshua, 16th chapter. It'll tell you that Melchizedek that met Abraham was Shem, Noah's son. The priesthood was passed to Shem. It started with Adam. Adam got Melchizedek. He was the first Melchizedek priest. He got all of the commandments. And the Melchizedek priest, it covers the entire world. He was in charge of the ocean. He was in charge of the birds. He was in charge. He had to make sure everything operated smoothly. That's the Melchizedek priest. When Abel got killed by Cain, then it fell on Seth. He was the next Melchizedek priest.
That's why it says in those days, men began to call on the name of Yah.
Yeah.
In the days of Enos, or in the days of Seth, and then Enos, because then that order of Melchizedek jumped when Abel was killed. Then it came on to Enos.
Yeah.
So
on down the line.
Down the line.
Hit Abraham, he was a Melchizedek priest, because you got Genesis 26:5 that said Abraham kept all the laws of God. And this way before Jacob was even thought of. Isaac wasn't even born at this time.
That's like
so what laws are he keeping? Under what order? Aaron don't exist. What order?
And I asked that brother, I said, so was Abraham wearing fringe?
Oh, no, he didn't. Boy, he didn't. He thought about it for a minute. Boy, he was thinking.
He wasn't going to rush to answer that.
No, he wasn't going to rush because fringes are for disobedience. Look, you bragging on something that came about a man breaking the law. You better wear your fringe. Do you know how this started? The Most High said, get the Holy Spirit in your heart. It was there at the beginning.
That's right.
Do you want the beginning, or do you want what has to keep reminding you of your bad behavior? You know when you're doing wrong.
You gotta go keep looking at the
look. You can argue. Right. You can argue and say, I may be wrong about it, but kiss my donkey. Hebrews 7 chapter, y'all getting that Joshua 6, y'all read that Genesis 18. When it comes, you'll see who Melchizedek is. But we just gonna get right to the heart of this. When you get into, and then we're gonna because look, Paul is talking about the order of Melchizedek from Hebrews 2 on. That when he talk about the Messiah made just a little bit lower than the angels, but it was set up for this, y'all. And he's talking Melchizedek all the way through, all the way up to the 10th chapter. He get deep into it and he's tell you different. So we're gonna run these real quick and get to our lesson at hand. Y'all read chapter 7 of Hebrews. Y'all read 1 through 10, but we're gonna pick it up at 15. Because, now I'll tell you what, we'll pick it up at verse 11.
Yeah, okay.
So we understand the difference, y'all. It's not saying this Melchizedek Abraham met. It's not saying that that's just some mysterious individual that show up. That was the priest at that time that met him. Wasn't no order of Aaron around. God has order. So who is Melchizedek? If this the order of Melchizedek and Christ is under the order, then who is Melchizedek? The Father. The order of Melchizedek. He's the Father. He's without father or mother, and you can't trace his beginning. This is how this starts off to let you know who really is Melchizedek. Christ had a father, didn't he?
Yep.
We know he had an earthly mother. Mm-hmm. We know all the other Abraham did too, didn't he? Mm-hmm. Who is the Ancient of Days father? Who is the Ancient of Days mother? If you can tell. So we understand Melchizedek is the father. Then he has an order. Okay, this the order. And when we get ready to start this, y'all, we're going to see the order again. And he said, you're at my right hand. You're my priest. You go do what I tell you to do, and everybody has to follow after this order. Melchizedek, well, when we come out of Egypt, he said, we're going to put it on Aaron. The same rules that come from heaven. Aaron, you gonna do it. It's gonna be your sons. It's gonna be them, and only them. Moses, you do this. John the Baptist, you do this. John the Baptist's father was not a seed of Aaron. He was a Levite. He lit the incense like brother doing right here, or Elijah do. He just lit the incense in the temple, but he couldn't go back in the holies of holy. Right. That was John the Baptist's daddy. He was a Levite. He said, that's why I'm a decrease. He's going to increase. What's going to increase? The schoolmaster or consciousness?
And also, isn't it always the right-hand man that enforces or carries out the law?
Look.
The instruction?
Always, ain't it?
The one in charge gives the orders, the commandments to his right-hand man. His right-hand man ensures that everybody knows the order and carries it out.
Who did they say killed bin Laden? Who get the credit for that? Obama. Yeah. But Obama wasn't there. He was sitting in the war room like that. Y'all seen the video? He looking like this. You like, he's seeing some activity, but it was the Navy SEAL team that put him down at his command. The same way the Father commands his order. Go handle it. You think the Father gonna get off the throne to handle an earthly issue about his creation? The clay gonna get me up and I got to go down here. Y'all wait till I get back. Watch the throne for me. I gotta go down here. And he got servants for that? What are they created for?
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 15, 18, 15, where he says, I leaped off the throne and came down amongst men. Christ say he leaped off his throne and came down to handle that business.
Always.
That's what God wanted him to handle.
He said Michael battled Satan. It wasn't the Father. No. It said Michael and his angels and Satan and his angels scrapped.
It's either Wisdom of Solomon 15 or Wisdom of Solomon 18, 15. It's either 15, 18 or 18, 15.
Let's get it.
All right, we're in the book of Hebrews, chapter 7.
You can real quick.
Go ahead, bro. Yeah, real quick.
Solomon, chapter 18 and verse 15.
Yeah.
Thou almighty word, leap down from heaven.
Yeah.
Out of thy throne, out of thy royal throne, as a first man of war, into the midst of a land of destruction.
Look, Joshua said in the 10th chapter, Joshua asked, look, he saw the army, the captain of the host of the army of the Lord. Joshua say, you with us? He said, player, you with me. Don't get it twisted. I'm the captain, not you. And Joshua bowed. You can't bow to no any angel. If there had been Michael or Gabriel or Raphael, they would have told him to get up. Like the angel told John, the Revelator, get up.
I'm a fellow servant.
I'm a fellow servant. Like you. So he told him, take your shoes off to his holy ground, just like he told Moses. That was the Messiah. The Father don't get off his throne for what?
Right.
Let's get this, y'all, real quick. So y'all read 7th chapter Hebrews 1 through 10. Yeah.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 7 and verse 11.
Start about verse 8.
Verse 8.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, but it'd be
it'd be verse 5.
Right.
I tell you what, start at verse 1. Y'all, and we just gonna do this just to clear this up because a lot of people are still struggling with this. you know, and we have to, because we got naysayers that's going into Aaron and challenging you. Do you know what priesthood you under? If you don't know what priesthood you under, and you say to the Lord, we prophesy in that name, he like, I don't know you. That was under Aaron. Right. That was me, and you had a leader in your mindset. Let's read some more. An
earthly leader.
Yeah.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 7 and verse 1.
Right.
For this Melchizedek, king of Salem, priest of the Most High Yah, who met Abraham returning from the slaughter of the king.
So when you get into the book of Jasher, the 16th chapter going to tell you the same thing, but it's going to reveal who that individual was. That it was Shem, the son of Noah. Let's read some more.
Returning from the slaughter of the king, and blessed him, to whom also Abraham gave a 10th part of all, first being by interpretation,
yes, sir,
king of righteousness.
King of who?
Of righteousness. And after that also king of Salem, which is king of peace.
See, and you'll see the same thing in Zechariah 14 chapter. That's what the new city is going to be called. The Lord our righteousness is there. The king of peace will be there at this time. So it's telling you, when this final Melchizedek takes his throne, he has a city that's going to match, because it's called King of Righteousness. That's where the Garden of Eden was. That's where the king has to be, because Adam was the first Melchizedek in the Garden of Eden. That's what Jerusalem was. But the city is going to sit back down in Jerusalem once there's no more Canaanites in the land. It's going to be washed clean of the decadence that's there now. Shalom, mister. You need a hand with that? Okay, let's get it, y'all.
Verse 3.
Yeah.
Without father.
Without what?
Without father. Without mother.
Right.
Without descent. Having neither beginning of days nor end of life.
Right.
But made like unto the Son of Yah, abideth a priest continually.
So it's saying that without father and mother, but made like unto the Son of Man. So it's telling you Christ is made just like his Father. He said, when you see the Father, who you see? He said, when you see me, you see the Father.
That's right.
He's the express image of his Father. Didn't he say? You talking about boy look like his daddy.
Right.
This is what it's telling you. So when you see me and my son that represents me, he's like his daddy. He's little Melchizedek. He Deck Jr. Where we at? Yeah.
Verse 4.
Yeah.
Now consider how great this man was, unto whom even the patriarch Abraham gave the 10th of the spoil.
Right.
And verily, they that are of the son of Levi, who receive the office of the priesthood.
What they receive?
The office of the priesthood, have a commandment to take tithes of the people according to the law, that is, of their brethren, though they come out of the loins of Abraham.
So it's saying we were commanded to pay tithes to the Levites because they couldn't work.
Right.
They had to man the temple 24/7. That's why Numbers 28 will tell you the priests profaned the Sabbath and they are blameless. Because who's going to do the sacrifice? Do you think Israel quit sinning on the Sabbath? Israel turned up on the Sabbath.
Right. But then you see specifically it says right there, of their brethren.
Of their brethren only, of the other 11 tribes.
Exactly.
And not only that, but you were commanded. So whatever you did, 10% of whatever you did had to go to the Levites.
Right.
They ran the welfare system for our nation. So they had to be, and we had to take care of them because they couldn't work. But when the priesthood switched, well, we'll keep reading. Go ahead.
Verse 6.
Yes.
But he whose descent is not counted, from them received tithes of Abraham, and blessed him that had the promise.
So Abraham was coming off of that war when they had took Lot. He went and got him. Abraham hired some men. They came back. Melchizedek met him with bread and wine. That brings you into the covenant of Melchizedek. No slaughtering of lambs. That's added to it later. That's the hospitality meal later. But the initial Shabbat shalom. The initial hospitality is to break bread and wine. And you will always see this after the order of Melchizedek. The bread and wine is the first thing to bring you into the bond of the covenant. That's why the Messiah told her, this bread is my body. This drink is my blood. If you don't do this, you have no part in the kingdom with me. It wasn't about the physical food, was it? No. The lamb and stuff. He like, look, if you don't come in the covenant, you have no part in it. And then he washed their feet. He said, if you ain't got hospitality and call yourself a law keeper, that's going to be a problem.
That's love of thy brethren
as thyself.
Boy.
Let's read some more. Where you at, bro?
We just talked about that hospitality earlier.
Yes, sir.
Golly. Verse 7.
Yeah.
And without all contradiction, the less is blessed of the better. And here men that die receive tithes, but there he receiveth them, of whom it is witness that he liveth.
Right.
And as I may say so, Levi also, who receiveth tithes, paid tithes in Abraham.
So how he did that, and Levi is his great-grandson. You understand what I'm saying? That's the son of Jacob. This is Abraham. But what he's saying, the tithing process was already in existence before Levi ever showed up on the planet. We didn't just start paying tithes to the tribe of Levi. Abraham paid tithes, but it was under the order of Melchizedek, which is free will offering. You're not commanded to take tithes. So when a preacher tells you, you must pay 10%,
right,
he's lying to you, or he's under the order of Aaron. And he can't have it both ways. Look, he can't have it both ways, because if he tell you the laws are done away with, tithing is a law according to Numbers 18.
That's right.
Leviticus and Numbers 18, Nehemiah 10:28. It says tithing is the law. And we just read here, you're commanded to pay tithes to Aaron, right? That's a commandment. But Aaron is no more. Right. When Christ went into the holies of holies and the veil rent, we could look back there. Oh, that's what's back there. The order of Aaron was over at that point. Over and done with. If you keep going back to it, it's like you are grown up and we have to keep saying your ABCs to you.
Right.
I told the bro, I say, that makes you a non-messianic maniac.
Right.
Oh, I'm offended that you saying that to me, bro. I said, that's what it sounds like to me, because you keep on reaching for Aaron, and you fail to realize Christ is here now.
Right.
They don't want Christ here because in the absence of Christ, it allows them to be him.
Right, because you can't go find no high priest to forgive their sin.
They got to get a job, man.
They got to get a job.
Got to go to work.
Look, so what are you doing about your sins then? No, unless you ain't sinning.
Right.
I doubt it.
Y'all, let's finish reading this, y'all, so we can get to the lesson at hand. Go ahead.
Verse 10.
Yeah.
For he was yet in the loins of his father when Melchizedek met him.
So it's talking about Levi was yet in the loins of Abraham when Melchizedek met Abraham. He's in his loins, meaning he hasn't had relations with Sarah and then had Isaac. And then Isaac had relations with Rebekah and she had Jacob. And then Jacob had relations with Rachel and Leah and Zilpah and Bilhah. And then they had the 12 tribes. And Levi come out of the Leah's loins by Jacob. This is his grandson. He's saying, but I'm already paying a tithe situation, y'all, but it's free will. Melchizedek is free will. He say, give up here. If I have to force you to pay tithes, that's going to be a problem after we already conscious. You know what has to happen. Jacob, you know stuff don't run for free.
Jacob gave a free will tithe too.
That's what he did in Genesis 30. He said, if you be with me, I will give you 1/10 of all I had. That wasn't commanded. He offered that. But he got to stick with that vow for his life because it's a swearing. Offering enough, y'all. If you keep the law, that Most High say that's good enough. But within the law, it tells you if you find yourself in a poor status, you're forgiven for 3 years of paying. Just like if you start a new business around here after 3 years,
right?
If you get to write it off after 3 years, but that 4th year you got to change something.
You got to show a profit.
Earl, Jerry Curl, and Chicken Shack, if it ain't produced in 3 years, you got to find something else to do.
Jerry Curl.
Look, it's wow. People talk about your Jerry Curl smell like chicken. Hold on, wait a minute.
It's like, why your chicken so greasy?
But look, Soul Glow chicken and all change. Go ahead.
Verse 11.
Yeah.
If therefore perfection were by the Levitical priesthood.
By the Levitical priesthood, which Aaron and them are high priests. If perfection was by that, go ahead.
For under it, the people received the law. What further need was there that another priest should rise after the order of Melchizedek and not be called after the order of Aaron?
So if Aaron was perfect, if we keep going back there, what we talking about Melchizedek for? Why is it even coming up? If that was as good as it should get. Let's read some more.
That's right.
Verse 12.
Yeah.
For the priesthood being changed, there is made of necessity a change also of the law.
Now some right here say, see there, Paul changed the law. That's why I don't trust. Paul didn't change the law. Paul said there was a change of priesthood first, didn't he? He said, so that required a change of law. You know what law? Deuteronomy 18, when Moses told him, another prophet is coming. Him shall ye hear. If you don't listen to him, it's going to be trouble. That's what Joshua said too, didn't it? He said another one, of thy brethren.
And that's what Paul reiterated in Acts 3:37.
So this a change in the law is necessary because these priests kill goats. The Messiah ain't killing no goats.
Right.
Ain't no more sacrificing of the lamb. He's the one. That's the change in the law. It's a necessity that is changed because we under Melchizedek now. We don't slaughter goats. That's the difference in the order of Aaron and Melchizedek. An animal was put to death because of your transgression.
Right.
But y'all just think about how we sinning now. And boy, little nasty X would run Grant's form out of business with that sinning, wouldn't it? What would be no animal left? And hell, if we went to the zoo right now, we'd be like, well, sacrifice that for me. It wouldn't be nothing left.
No.
Y'all, because we out of control and we don't know what the law is, it's become a strange thing to us. You'd be like, that's in the Bible. If you say that, the law has become a strange thing to you. Y'all, don't y'all know it wouldn't be a lamb or sheep left right now? Because we sacrifice them all out. There'd be like a dodo bird in the museum. Daddy, what's that? That's a goat and a sheep. At one time they were in existence, but we just couldn't quit sinning.
Right.
Get your head out of my... As I was saying, son.
Right.
It says going on.
Look here.
As bad as you have to start sacrificing snakes.
If the Messiah, if the Messiah had come, it wouldn't be a lamb, sheep, or goat on the planet.
A snake, a serpent.
Let's read some more. We're going to finish that up in verse 17.
Verse 13. For he of whom these things are spoken pertaineth to another tribe.
Pertaining to what?
Another tribe.
So we're talking about Melchizedek pertaining to another tribe. And we'll see what tribe he's coming out of. Go ahead.
Of which no man gave attendance at the altar.
Right.
For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah.
What he sprang out of?
Out of Judah.
So even though it started off sounding like it was talking about Shem or who Melchizedek met at the beginning, you think that's who it was. We down to who it's really talking about. Spiritually, that was just the priest at that time. We're trying to get you on board with the final priest that won't be replaced. There ain't no other order of Melchizedek leaders coming. Let's read some more.
Of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood.
Yeah.
And it is yet far more evident, for that after the similitude of Melchizedek, there ariseth another priest.
After the similitude of Melchizedek. Right. Who did we say Melchizedek was with no beginning or no end? Who's called the Ancient of Days? Look, this one has to come, the final one. Let's read about it. Let's read some more.
Verse 16.
Yeah.
Who is made not after the law of a carnal commandment, but after the power of an endless life.
Aaron was after a carnal command. There were carnal commandments. They were for men. And men had to help you with your sinning to make sure we could move to the next spot. There were sacrifices made. So we get a clear understanding after carnal commandments were Aaron. Our war is not carnal, is it?
No.
Our war is spiritual, ain't it? Let's read some more.
Verse 17.
Yeah.
For he testifieth, thou art a priest forever, after the order of Melchizedek.
See, we just testified to that in Psalm 110, where it was said that, wasn't it?
Yes,
let's read some more. Go down to 24.
Verse 18. For there is verily a disannulling of the commandment going before, for the weakness and unprofitableness thereof. For the law made nothing perfect.
See, and everybody just see right there, that's why we don't deal with Paul. You see what he just said right there? Let Paul finish reading. Go ahead.
But the bringing in of a better hope did.
See, the bringing in of a better hope did. You can believe the law, but if you don't believe Christ is the end of the law to those that believe it, you got to switch your game up.
Exactly.
You got to think like Christ. You got to be ahead of trouble. But it brought in a better hope of it. Ain't saying the law is done away. He's the law. But you can't look at it after carnal commandments. Are you going to trust men?
Exactly.
Why did Christ say the Pharisees were condemned already? They were law keepers, right?
Right.
But they didn't believe in the spiritual law, which was before them.
That's right.
Which was Christ.
Let's read some more, because that's what Sadducees were. They didn't believe in the supernatural. The Pharisees did, but then they'll slip reincarnation in their own. Go ahead, where we at?
Continuation of 19.
Uh-huh.
By the which we draw nigh unto Yah, and inasmuch as not without an oath he was made priest.
Uh-huh.
For those priests were made without an oath, but this with an oath by him that said unto him, the Most High swear and will not repent. Thou art a priest forever, after the order of Melchizedek.
So when we see oath, it said the Most High swore to this which he could swear only by himself, because there's none greater than him. And repent don't mean sin. Repent means to turn away from something.
Right.
So he said he will not repent or turn away from the oath that he said Christ is the high priest after the order of Melchizedek for eternity.
Right.
He will not turn from that. He said he swore. Aaron, there wasn't no swearing going on. It's the lineage. You had to prove the lineage. What Ezra said, they said they found some in the priesthood talking about they was high priests. He's like, man, run your lineage.
Right.
Uncle Earl, and they get out of here.
Ezra and them had to put them all out because the Levites profaned the priesthood.
Yeah.
Yep.
They started pointing in everybody, whoever had money.
Whoever had money.
Taking
You got
bride.
paper,
Yep.
come on in. I'll get you in, I'll get you Levitical priest garbs.
Just like in church today, a deacon, when you read in here, a deacon can't be a novice.
Right.
But if a deacon work at Bowling's, he's going to be a deacon. When the church find out what his salary is, you a deacon. Look, all you have to say is well.
Wow.
We're going to train you. You'll be a well-man deacon. And what he say?
Wow.
Yeah. That's his job. Where we at? Let's finish that up.
Verse 22.
Yeah.
By so much was Yeshua made a surety of a better testament.
See, so y'all, we see why and who has been talking about all along. Go ahead.
And they truly were many priests, because they were not suffered to continue by reason of death. But this man.
But this who?
But this man. Because he continueth ever.
Right.
Hath an unchangeable priesthood.
Y'all see that? An unchangeable priesthood. Y'all, we are under an unchangeable priesthood. If you go back to Aaron, you're going against the grain. You're swimming upstream. Everything you just told somebody, you're hoping they don't understand, and here they feel now their conscience is convicted. The very thing that they're supposed to be working on under Melchizedek is now condemned because you got them trapped by what you're saying about the law. But you know what the deal is? The only punishment is to break your spirit. That's how they punish you. Well, I'm going to put you out. How you going to put somebody out of God's kingdom? Who give you that authority? Let's read some more.
Verse 25.
Yeah.
Wherefore he is able also to save them to the uttermost that come unto Yah by him. Seeing he ever liveth to make intercession for them.
So this priest don't die out. Ain't no rotation for him.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 26.
Yeah.
For such an high priest became us, who is holy, harmless, undefiled,
right,
separate from sinners, and made higher than the heavens.
See, that's what Satan wanted. He wanted to be made higher than the heavens. That's why he said, I'm going to take the throne from the Father. You ain't going to take Christ's spot. What are you talking about? When he came to Christ, Christ said, look here, man, you know what the rules are. Me bow to you. Come on, player, you was up there. Do I have to call Michael again? Because I ain't got time for you. Let's read some more.
Verse 27.
Yeah.
Who needeth not daily, as those high priests, to offer up sacrifice, first for his own sin.
First for who?
His own sin. And then for the people's. For this he did once, when he offered up himself.
See, so the Most High Christ did this one time, y'all. We can't pull him back or down off the cross. If you let somebody take you back into error, you're pulling him back off the cross. The sacrifice he made that was Isaiah 53 spoke of. If you believe that didn't happen to him, then there's another one coming that have to face Isaiah 53. We got a long way to go there, don't we?
Long way.
Because we got to go through his childhood and then another second coming. Yep. If we still under Aaron, y'all don't get caught back in the school, master. It's like you going back to kindergarten. They have to learn you your colors all over. Do you know where your name? Spell your name.
What'd you say, man?
Man Johnson. That ain't no name. Let's read some more, y'all.
Verse 28.
Yeah.
For the law maketh men high priests, which have infirmity.
What they have?
They have infirmity. But the word of the oath, which was since the law, maketh the Son, who is consecrated forevermore.
See, and you have to understand what Aaron gave was for men. To get you together to respect the order. But those men start going on. They start taking bribes. No, player, you did what? Oh, no, that's going to cost you 2 bullocks. You think I'm going to go behind the holies of holies for a turtle dove with what you done did? You crazy.
Bring me more.
Bring me more. That's going to send me to the poorhouse, but better to the death house. Which one you want? So we had to get a true high priest that was never tempted by sin or bribes.
Right.
John 3:13 says, if you don't believe Christ is the Son of Man, you condemned already. What do that mean? You condemned already. That means at Judgment Day, ain't nobody going to negotiate for you. Johnny Cochran can't be there. You condemned already. It's just when they call your name, Willie Jackson, next!
Matthew 7:21.
You done. It's next. We just get your name. I don't know who you are.
Go to the left. I never knew you.
We finished with that, but do this right here. Just read Hebrews 9. We just read the first 10, y'all, so we'll get some understanding. This is going to clear it up even more. But I'm telling y'all, read all of Hebrews, chapter 2, all the way up through 10. You're going to get the understanding of the order of Melchizedek, and you'll know what Adam and Eve was doing in the garden. That's why this order is male or female. Everybody is under the law now that pertains to you as an individual. Leviticus 19, when it talks about a beard, ain't talking about a woman. You ain't got to worry about that. A man-child woman is separated for a man-child 40 days, for a woman-child 80 days. That has nothing to do with a man, but what he can't come near her for minimum 80 days. She has to know that better than him because he be, come on. Come on. No, that's what you want to do. I have to wait. Let's read some more. Where we at?
We're in the book of Hebrews, chapter 9, verse 1.
Yeah.
Everybody there? Let's get some understanding, family. Then verily the first covenant had also ordinances of divine service.
Yeah.
And a worldly sanctuary.
So we know that it was patterned after heaven. So it had a sanctuary. Go ahead.
For there was a tabernacle made, the first wherein was the candlestick, and the table, and the showbread, which is called the sanctuary. And after the second veil, the tabernacle, which is called the holiest of all.
See, what is it called?
The holiest of all. Which had the golden censer, and the ark of the covenant, overlaid round about with gold, wherein was the golden pot that had manna, and Aaron's rod that budded, and the tables of the covenant.
That's what was behind that curtain, the law.
Right.
And the holies of holy, the ark of the covenant that contained the law. Y'all understand that? So it says behind there is the power of God on earth. But regular men can't look at it because you know what? They're going to make an image of it. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 5.
Yeah.
And over it the cherubims of glory shadowing the mercy seat, of which we cannot now speak particularly. Now when these things were thus ordained, the priest went always into the first tabernacle, accomplishing the service of Yahweh.
Right.
But into the second went the high priest alone.
Who went alone?
The high priest.
So you can understand why Zechariah, which was John the Baptist's father, went into the first part. That's where he would go. His job was they rotated in and out, 6-month courses, and he would light the incense. That's how you know what time Christ was born, because why do you think Matthew 2 is starting off with who was in the temple around the time of Christ's birth? It say John was in there, his daddy was in there lighting the incense. It was during his course of a beard. Did I say that right? About however it is. That was a course. He ran his course from these months to this month.
Numbers 25.
Yeah, also you get 2 Chronicles 27 is 2. But it's talking about the course of Abia. That was his course, John the Baptist's father. And that his course around Abia, so it was around Passover time, and when he got to June or July, his course was over. So when so if his course is in June and he go home, and then Mary conceived and John the Baptist was conceived, it said Zechariah went home and it said Elizabeth conceived in her old age. Why is it talking about her conception and we're talking about the birth of Christ? It's letting you line up the difference or the space in between and when this took place. So Zechariah was in the temple around what we would call between December till June, serving in the temple, lighting the incense. That was his course, and then he rotated out. It says he was told in to go home, your wife gonna conceive in your old age, and he went home. So Mary, on her way to Elizabeth's house, it says John the Baptist is 6 months older than the Christ in earthly birth. So if John gets his wife pregnant, Zechariah get his wife Elizabeth pregnant in June, and she's 6 months when Elizabeth gets there, and Mary's pregnant already. So what month is that? From June to
December.
That's what?
December, 6 months.
It's December. So y'all, this is very critical, and that you understand when somebody say Christ was born in December. The question ain't literal birth. That's what you ask. Are you speaking literal birth, or are you talking conception? Because Mary conceived and then went to Elizabeth. So if you're talking conception, and notice what we celebrating that's coming up here very soon, the Feast of Dedication. You know why it's around this time, the 20th and 5th of Kislev. Notice the numbers, 20 and 5th of Kislev. What day Christmas on? The 20th and 5th of what? December. Satan always going to be close so you can choose. Now that one, all y'all going to do is light a menorah for 8 days. Y'all going to be singing hymns. Who want to do that? But over here we got Black Friday. We got what you want on sale. If you get there early, you can camp out and get what you want. Look, there are going to be fights, so bring a club with you and some brass knuckles to get in there to get the TV you want. But over there, they just doing the feast, they're dedicated to having a nice feast. They laughing, having a good time. Ain't nobody giving away gifts, they just having a good time.
Right.
But over here, get there early and wear a helmet because it get rough. How Satan convince you to look at that set of lights? Because you string lights up on your houses for the same 8 days, from the 24th Christmas Eve to the 2nd of January, where you take them down after New Year's Eve. After New Year's Day, people pull their lights down. They should, but sometime in the ghetto, they up there to next Christmas.
Right.
Or is it these lights that lasted for 8 days? Which one you doing? Satan got them close together. 20 and 5th of Kislev or the 20 and 5th of December. So if Christ was conceived, that's why we ask, are you talking about live birth or conception? If you talking conception in December, yeah, and then count 9 months from December, conception. What you get in 9? What's 9 months after that?
That's September.
September.
Yeah.
When is the Feast of Tabernacles?
September.
And Christ was born on the way to Jerusalem, and they slept in what? Sukkot booths, didn't they?
Yeah.
They didn't have the inn was full, so they was on the way up there in that month. Does it list the exact date? It's within them 7 days. It tells you it's the only math you can have. With Zachariah's duty in the temple and when he was conceived and the feast days that line up, because the feast days have to line up with Christ. All of the feast days are a foreshadow of Christ.
Yeah, but now if
The Passover, not only that, Pentecost, because he showed back up 50 days to the disciples, so forth and so on. The Day of Atonement, he went back to the Father to talk to him about us. He said, this is what you got to do through the Holy Spirit now. And so forth and so on to all the whole day. Then they start over again. What you got, bro?
I was just thinking if he was born in a manger, the sheep would have been in there because they don't eat frozen grass. You know, they were out of the manger, so they had to be out in the field.
Look, it said September, it ain't that frozen. It say the shepherds were yes in the field, abiding in the field. You bring your sheep out of the field.
Right.
In dead of December, winter, it get winter.
Yeah.
Look, the Feast of Dedication.
Winters.
Look, the Feast of Dedication that's coming up in John 10, they say, and it was winter. So that's a December time frame. He wasn't born in that time frame. He was born where the shepherds were still watching over their flock in the night.
Right.
Y'all, it's easy math, but it just ain't going to be given to you. But it's so we understand what his true birthday is. We know the birthday week, but we don't know the day. So you can't pinpoint one day. He said, y'all going to have a whole week on this around here. It keeps us focused, y'all, on who it's talking about. Because December is here and it's going to be trouble. Ain't none other under that tree, and it's the 22nd. And Jimmy is crying and you sitting up there talking about, I'm still waiting on Earl. He owe me some money. That tree is burning like it's fresh. Now you're looking at that ski mask and that 9mm. Well, it's going to be the last Christmas because the next 15 you're going to be in the penitentiary.
Yeah.
What y'all doing over there? Drinking some eggnog? Phone check, homie. I'm gone, y'all.
I gotta go.
Y'all, let's get back into this, y'all. Did we finish that up? Where we at? Verse what?
Verse 7.
Yeah, what it say?
It says, but into the second went the high priest alone once every year, not without blood, which he offered for himself and for the errors of his people.
Right.
Or of the people.
Uh-huh.
The Holy Ghost, this signifying that the way into the holiest of all was not yet made manifest, while as the first tabernacle was yet standing.
See, you can't have both of them on earth at the same time. One has to go away.
Right.
We have to get to understanding, and that goes away. We take the note off the refrigerator, like you should have it up here that you, when you come home, do your homework and take the trash. Do it have to stay on the refrigerator or do soon. You'll pull it down. You know what to do as soon as you get home. And if your mama say, well, they got it, he doing it every day, and she pull it down, and your opportunity to say, damn, we must don't have to do it no more. You think that's what she doing when she pull a note down.
No.
Then she come looking for you with a Hot Wheel track.
Right.
Didn't I tell you? And you running off. Okay, and you ain't hollering, you took the note down. You first thing you holler is okay.
Yeah.
You holler okay when you understand.
You already know what it is.
Okay. She didn't have to say one word, just struck, and you took off. Didn't I say okay? Y'all, it's the same way with this when they get up here. That's how it's a more sore punishment because it should be up here, y'all. Go ahead, bro. I'm gonna stop.
Well, you should be trying to arch that back end too when you know it's coming.
Yeah. Boy, look here, like hot shower water. Too hot, and you run you to the other end of the tub, and you have to reach back and turn it down.
Yeah.
That's what she put that first lick at. See, it clears the mind immediately. All the ones that come behind that ain't got nothing really, you know, they okay, but that first one that get your feet where you get up off the ground, and it's like you almost running in place for 3 seconds. You come.
And don't turn around and try to catch it.
Oh, boy,
Boy, you tripping.
go ahead, bro.
Verse 9.
Yeah.
Which was a figure for the time then present,
Which were a figure then. Go ahead.
in which were offered both gifts and sacrifices, that could not make him that did the service perfect, as pertaining to the
As
conscience.
pertaining to what?
The conscience.
See, you can do the law all you want, but if you got in your mind, not up in here conscious, and you thinking, shit, it got to be 2 witnesses to catch me.
Right.
I ain't wrong. Where your witnesses at?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if he had to went back to the car, he would have saw you doing what I saw you. Well, Earl went back to the car. He didn't see nothing. One witness. Get out of here. And they would have to get out of there. Let's read some more.
Verse 10.
Yeah.
Which stood only in meats and drinks.
What it stand in?
In meats and drinks.
Uh-huh.
And divers washings. And carnal ordinances imposed on them until the time of Reformation.
Imposed on them carnal ordinance until the time of Reformation, till your mind has been ordered like it's supposed to. A righteous man don't need the law. What does that mean? Why doesn't a righteous man need the law?
He already doing it.
He already obeyed. It didn't say he wasn't a sinner.
Right.
It says that righteous man, when you become righteous, you know what do and don't mean. Ain't nobody got to teach it to you every day. Oh, so them wasn't my car keys, and that wasn't my car. Now you hook like Christianity when they tell you it's gonna be a check in the mail from the bank of who? If you send in right now $59.99, I swear to you there'll be a check for $10,000 from the bank of who? Why am I cashing?
Right. Sow your seeds.
Boy, look here. Go ahead, bro.
That's it.
That's it for
Yeah,
that?
you wanted that 10.
Yeah. Let me see. Watch the device. Okay. If y'all read the rest of it, y'all see where it talk about bulls and goats, and Christ cleared that up. But this the order. Melchizedek. Like I say, read chapter 2 through 10. Anybody got any other questions concerning that priesthood? So y'all got any more questions concerning what that means? It means Christ is the leader. He don't share it with nobody. Anybody else is a thief and a robber, and is not one that causes you to look at an individual and call him a high priest. There are no more high priests. None but Christ. We are royal priesthood. We little Melchizedek, but that's it, because we're just under the order of Melchizedek. But we have one high priest. Just one. Y'all, if you let them take you back under Aaron, then that means men gonna rule over you. Them camps up there got people paying triple tithes there. It's just Hebrew Christianity. We just read men were commanded to take tithes. You're not commanded anymore. Right. Can they prove that they Levites?
No.
Let's read some more. What you, everybody good? What you got back there, Thomas? So we can get rolling.
That check match up with that prayer handkerchief.
Yeah, that's what it is. Look. Look, and under it gonna be just like all them other checks from Lou Ford and stuff. This is not a real check.
Right. Please do not attempt to cash.
Don't you go to the bank with that.
Boy, them boys in the blue be outside.
Boy, look here. Where we at?
Where you going?
We're going to y'all, our lesson at hand, the prophet's journey, y'all. We're going to get into some clean and unclean because in the last days, give me just a little bit of 1 Tim 4, just them first 4 verses, y'all, because, y'all, when we keep talking last days, we got to get prepared for the last days, what's going to happen to us. These are the things the Messiah say, be ye not deceived. So he's telling you what to look out for. If you get deceived, who is it on? It can't be on the Bible is tampered with. That's your way out. That ain't going to work on Judgment Day. If he say be not deceived, why would he put the deception in there? He say he don't tempt men with evil, neither is he tempted with it. Wouldn't that be a tempting of evil? You trying to figure out what's good and what ain't. Based off of what? The law that you say is tampered with? Right. It don't make sense, do it? Where we at?
1 Tim what?
1 Tim 4. Y'all, we just going to run the first few verses, then we'll get you right to the letter of hand, and we're going to get into the order of Melchizedek, y'all. That way you don't get caught up in priesthood and thinking you a triple high priest and a commander of 10 and 50 and 30. That don't exist no more. Anybody you talking about my high-ranking commander, who you talking about?
But
where you at?
Even if they claim in the order of Aaron, who's doing blood sacrifices and where are they doing?
Boy, look here. So you stay in your sin then.
Right. Where's your holy of holies?
Boy, look here.
Yeah, because they show banned all those Middle Eastern immigrants on the south side from slaughtering their own animals and doing their little religious rituals.
Y'all, look here. That would be easy work, y'all. Let's read some more.
1 Timothy. 2 Timothy. My bad. Slow it up.
Yes, sir.
1 Timothy. Chapter 4, verse 1.
What? Yes, sir. What it say?
Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter time.
In the what kind of time?
In the latter time. Some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils.
So it says it's a doctrine of devil and spirits. What they gonna do?
Seducing.
Speaking
lies and hypocrisy. Having their conscience seared with a hot iron.
Y'all see what's going to be seared? Not your flesh, but your what?
Conscience.
Because y'all, you going to be at war up here. You're going to be at war up here if you let somebody tell you this means something different. If somebody tell you you ain't supposed to do something that the Bible say you're supposed to do it, their conscience should be seared, not yours. But they have you on the end. Well, you know, the poison pen of the scribe. Get out of here with that. The poison is right in front of you, telling you this madness. Let's read some more.
But remember, deception is only accomplished through ignorance.
Yes, sir.
Verse 3.
Yeah.
Forbidding to marry.
What they doing?
Forbidding to marry.
Don't want no ceremonies.
No,
the ceremony. It's step 2. They already in the honeymoon. That's how they get started.
Right.
The only music playing is the Box Spring Symphony. She-shang. See, and that's all they want. And then they tell them we married. And the duties is over. That's it.
Box Spring Symphony.
Playing in the background.
Back up.
Boy, look here. Go ahead, bro. See, y'all, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about forbidding the marriage that puts you in a marriage position that you are the power of that individual. How you saying this, my wife? If she dies, they're going to the next of kin, not you. You ain't no nary a bill in the house. You just been living there. That gives you zero authority. They'll be like, who are you?
Yep.
Zimbabwe, Yuba. They well, look, her name seems right here, Mary Johnson. Do you know who her mother and father is? Because they next to kin. Nothing about her about a Baba Boo-Hoo. And that's what's going to happen. And then he going to make the call. Hello, Miss Johnson. Yeah, you may only heard me as Baba Huma. You know what he hearing right there? You that black bastard been beating on my daughter and keeping her hemmed up over there telling you can afford 6 wives and then I just called to tell you she in the hospital.
Click.
In this land, in any land, a power of protection, you need some paperwork. You got paperwork for them receipts for them breaks at AutoZone, don't you? When you take them back, what you got to have?
A receipt.
How you ain't got no receipt and you're talking about property? Let's read some more. Where we at?
Verse 3.
Yeah.
Forbidding to marry. And commanding to abstain from meats.
Right.
Which the Most High hath created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth.
Read them statements. What's the combo there? Them which what?
Forbidding to marry.
No, I'm saying that last part of that verse. Which do what?
Command to abstain from meats, which Yahweh hath created to be received with thanksgiving.
Hold it right there. To be received with thanksgiving.
Right.
So that don't mean you can pray over anything, because this next portion comes to clear your mind of that. What else it say?
Of them which believe and know the truth.
So the truth of meats is in Leviticus 11 and Deuteronomy 14. You have to believe that. You can't believe anything else.
Right.
If somebody tell you, well, look, too much of that meat is not good for you, that's one thing. But if you're commanded not to touch it anymore, I'm talking about command.
Yeah.
That's a whole different story. Health-wise, some people can't eat meat. It's bad for them. But you can't command everybody else not to, because you can't.
Right. That's right.
It was even said that a Mashiach didn't eat fish.
Right. See, all that foolishness. A balanced diet is what he gave us. That's what we got down here. We just had some meat, and then we got salad and stuff to send it on to the Mississippi River. Later. A balanced diet. If we take away command one or the other, we're gonna be off balance then, ain't we? Yeah. That's not a balanced diet, is it?
Yeah, too much
That's what he told us to do.
My brother knows he into health and bodybuilding, and he knows a balanced diet.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you know, he in St. Louis.
That's right. What else to say, bro?
Verse 4.
Yeah.
For every creature of Yahweh is good, and nothing to be refused if it be received with thanksgiving.
So the prior verse we just understood, thanksgiving must be proven with truth. And what did it say? Belief. Mm-hmm. So you have to believe why it's happening. That's the only thanksgiving you can have. You can't be thankful to the Lord and it's something you don't believe in.
No.
How you saying, yeah, you praying over children and you know your head gonna be swimming.
And not only that, you can't be thankful to the Most High and you breaking his law.
Right.
How you gonna be thankful for law breaking?
We getting into all of that later, bro. At Isaiah 66, yes sir. So y'all, we're gonna hold there because that's what we want to get some understanding on in these last days, because there's a famine coming, y'all. And the famine shouldn't be you commanded not to eat anything. The famine first gonna be the word, and then food gonna slowly dwindle away, but the diet is going to be still there. And he ain't never done us no different. He ain't gonna break his own laws, yo. So let's get right into it. Give me Matthew 24 and 24, just that one verse. No, I'll tell you what, not yet. 1 Corinthians 12. Let's get the administration. And then we'll move right into that, because we're doing what today, a prophet's journey. So y'all, the administration of Christ, everybody has rules. Everybody ain't the same person. All of us ain't teachers. All of us ain't preachers. All of us ain't evangelists, or the body is just got one point. The body is not whole. You're missing something.
Right.
What kind of contest a one-legged man can't get into?
Ass kicking.
No, electric slide too, but what did you say?
Ass kicking.
He can't get in that contest. Every time he kick, he on the ground.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Oh, 1 Corinthians 12, where you want to start?
Start about verse 29. Now, we're just going to get right into the administration of Messiah under the order of Melchizedek, y'all. So when you hear high priests and when you hear captains of thousands, that don't exist in the order of Melchizedek. That was in the order of Aaron when you read Joshua. And it only tells you then when that's happening is that rogue men is going to force you into that. Since y'all want a king that you can see, y'all, we got a king. Always had the high priest king, Yahweh Shai. That's right. Always been the king, and we disrespected him and say we want Saul to be a king. Let's read some more. 1 Corinthians 12, start about 23. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, see, y'all, and this is talking about the gifts. When it start off, y'all, we just get into the meat of it so y'all don't get misunderstood. When 1 Corinthians 12, 1 start off with the gifts of the Holy Spirit. To one is given this, to one is given that, to one is given this. But it all is put together so the body works like it is. If all we're hearing, what would the sin be? Right. If all we could hear, we'd be feeling around in the dark. You see, I hear it.
Right.
I don't see it though. You hear it?
What eyes?
Yeah. What eyes? Mm-hmm. So y'all, that's what we're talking about with this spiritual body. Right. Let's read some more. What does it say? Like,
let's start at 18.
Yeah.
But now hath Yahweh set the members, every one of them, in the body as it hath pleased him.
And it had done what?
Pleased him.
Go ahead.
And if they were all one member, where were the body?
So if it was just a head, where the body at?
Right.
You think you can be like what them Wayans brother when the head detected?
Yeah.
You still, somebody got to carry him around, don't they?
Mm-hmm. He had feet, but he didn't have legs.
Go ahead, bro.
Throw me over there.
Yeah, throw me over there. Where we at, bro?
Verse 20.
Yeah.
But now are they many members, but yet one body.
Right.
And the eye cannot say unto the hand, I have no need of thee.
Right.
Nor again the head to the feet, I have no need of you. Nay, much more those members of the body, which seem to be more feeble, are necessary.
The ones that you would least expect are the ones that are more necessary. If you cut off this baby finger, you're going to lose 50% of your gripping power. If you just cut off the baby finger, that's how important it is. Yeah. But you don't look at it as important. You know why? Because you can't flip nobody off with it. You ain't never seen nobody going up in their nose with it. The only thing it's ever used, and it ain't doing nothing, is holding a cup of Hennessy. And it ain't even used then, is it, boy? Look there.
That's the most unusual.
But if you have two of them Hennessy's, you have two hands on the damn one. Go ahead, bro. What else to say, Lysa? But look, I was just talking about if you cut this off. Also, if you cut your baby toe off, or it get cuts off,
can't stand.
Your gait is off.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, the police gonna pull over. And drunk, you drunk in public? Get your hands up, get over there. Blow through the breathalyzer because your gait gonna be off. You cut your baby toe off and get an electric slide contest and see what happened to you. Have you keep crashing in everybody because you can't get your balance?
To the left, to the
left. And go ahead, you crash on somebody's table and turn over their drinks. Go ahead, where we at?
23.
Yeah.
And those members of the body which we think to be less honorable, upon these we bestow more abundant honor.
Right.
And our uncomely parts have more abundant comeliness.
See, so our uncomely parts, y'all, have more than what you are trying to keep beautifying up. Mm-hmm. Y'all, the least part you think, that's why he washed the disciples' feet. Didn't he? He said, let your servants be what? And let your masters be what? The servant. If you don't look out for the weakest member, then the body gonna go lacking.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Every member have to be looked at equally. Under the order of Melchizedek.
That's right.
Let's read some more.
Verse 24.
Yeah.
For our comely parts have no need.
What they have?
No need. But Yahweh hath tempered the body together, having given more abundant honor to that part which lacks.
See, if we lack a part, if we lack what the commission was to feed my sheep. If we lack dealing with the poor and the homeless, y'all, we got to get that into gear. That's part that we're lacking. So we have to fill in those positions to make sure the body is complete, because it has to serve the people, not just a certain group of individuals. It has to serve the people like it did, like David, soon as he took over Jerusalem. The first thing he did was gave every man and woman a mess of meat, it said, and a flask of wine, and everything they needed to get jump started. Passed out the stimulus meal. Soon as he got started, because he knew he had to take care of Israel.
Right.
Let's read some more.
Welfare of the nation.
Yes, sir.
Verse 25.
Yeah.
That there should be no schisms in the body.
See, what is a schism? Huh? Defect. Yo, if two walk together, if two don't, what's the saying?
Can two
walk together? Lest they what? You can't have a body that says, well, the body today, he like to go over there, but when I got the body, I like to bring it over here. That's bipolarism. That's going to be a problem, ain't it? Yeah. One body, one mind, right? Yeah. You can't have two different mindsets in the same body. That's schizophrenia.
Well, that's just like one day a brother get up here and start teaching that Joseph is the father.
Yeah. Yeah, and you sitting there like this, well, I can't get him because,
he's of the body.
That's what he believed.
No,
that's a problem. Go ahead. Alter pride. Go ahead. Yeah, alter ego. Yes, sir.
Verse 25 again.
Yeah.
That there should be no schisms in the body, but that the members should have the same care one for another.
See, the members should have the same care for one another. If you're a teacher, you have to make sure that what we send forth, you don't have to call them and say, hold on, let me call them. Hold on, let me pull the video. Just watch the video. Ain't nothing wrong with saying just watch the video, but you should be able to narrate it through for them. See, right here, then brother's going to break down that Hebrews 8 on you. And then right here, bro, when you watch the video, they're going to break this down. So look at where they going with this. You should be able to do that if you tell somebody to watch the video. But just tell me to watch the video, that means you don't know what's on the video. It's in there. How you can't explain what you believe Joseph is the daddy, but you want me to watch a video? How's that going to prove it to me? You can't prove it. You're telling me to go watch something else to prove it to me, and it ain't been proven to you. We have to be able, when we pass this word, so you can go teach it to somebody else, or it's not being fruitful and multiplying. It's the only way it can multiply. Go ahead back there, bro.
Boy, you about to lose.
Yeah.
I got a witness sitting in here to this.
What the witness say? Where you pointing at Stephen's daughter?
Okay,
no, okay. Oh, that's what I thought you were talking about. Yeah. Baby girl, what you got? Okay, no, go ahead.
That's like somebody sitting down here for almost 2 years and say, I don't know where I'm from.
Look, that's a problem, y'all.
I got us scattered to the four corners. How do I know where I'm from?
And I only do it because y'all, to fellowship with y'all, because y'all do it.
Buddy it.
Yeah, that's a buddy.
See, it don't say study to show everybody. It says study to show who approved?
Thyself.
To be a workman of the word. You got to know this better than the person you finna tell it to, because I may not be available.
That's right. But see,
this person may not be available. What you think they're going to do? Tarry till you finally available?
It says study to show thyself approved unto God.
Unto God.
Not to men.
Not to me.
Ain't
got nothing to prove to no man, y'all. Everything is so God will say, well done, servant, enter into my rest.
Yes.
Boy, look here, we sit 15, 20 years, and it's just been sitting.
But the bottom line is this, Thomas, that's going to be on them.
Right.
Because the Most High said, work out thy own salvation.
Boy, look here.
So that's on him. If he want to play buddy, that's on him.
Yep.
That's like the brew that spent.
If he want to take his breath for granted, that's on him.
Plates rolling over every feast day. Then he was a hippie on the stick.
Boy,
look, that's a sad case. However, you're a grown man.
You're a grown man, y'all.
Handle your business.
Yeah. Let's read some more, y'all. We gotta get caught up.
Boy.
Where you at, verse 26?
Verse 26.
Uh-huh.
And whether one member suffer,
right,
all the members suffer with it. Or one member be honored, all the members rejoice with it.
Yo, ain't no big eyes and, how they say that?
Yeah, none of that up in here.
No, everybody get in on the rejoicing if something happened. About the word of the Most High. Ain't no one person say Apollo's water, but the Messiah get an increase.
That's right. Increase.
Let's read some more.
Verse 27.
Yeah.
Now ye are the body of Christ, of Mashiach, and members in particular.
So he said, we the body, but each one of y'all got a different role in this body. Yeah. Know your role. Stick with your role.
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your what?
Lane.
Boy. And if y'all done had the horn blowing of get back in your lane, you know what it'll do to you.
Yeah.
Make you start cursing. I was over here. No, you wasn't. Coach, you the one. And look, your heart is the one beat real fast. You don't have to blow like that, you black mother. Stay in your lane. Go ahead.
Scared the hell out of
you. Is that right? Oh! Boy, they can lay on that horn for 2 blocks past.
You can spill your coffee in there.
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, y'all must have just experienced that.
Boy, look at the wife laugh about that all the time. He blowing at you. I say, hell yeah, I was over the line. Go ahead.
All right, verse 28.
Yeah.
And Yahweh hath set some in the church, first apostles.
Who first?
First apostles.
So we talked about apostles, Paul being an apostle, the 12 disciples becoming the 12 apostles. And what that means is a supernatural event in the church. So Jacob was an apostle because he had a supernatural vision on the ladder, you know. When he saw the ladder going up and down, Jacob's ladder, and he wrestled with an angel. Abraham became an apostle in the order of Melchizedek because he had supernatural intervention. He actually had an intervention with the Lord himself.
That's right.
About Sodom and Gomorrah. Will you destroy it if it's 50 righteous?
Not only that.
Angels can't make no decisions like that.
He had an encounter before then in the fiery furnace.
Oh, boy, a long time ago, didn't he? So he's always been an apostle, so to speak, when we understand from the church. Isaac. See, these men didn't wear fringes because they wasn't disobedient. They didn't have to put on fringes because a man kept going and picking up sticks. Not saying nothing about the custom. The fringes identify who we are as a people, but know what they represent first. We didn't have them on coming out of Egypt. We didn't have them on in the first couple days in the wilderness. We got it by 6 days later on the 7th day when a man was told, don't you go out there and get no sticks.
Presumptuous sin brought it.
So you
premeditated sin brought the fringes.
You can't champion it. What you saying, like, if you don't know its origin. Let's read some more. Where we at?
28.
Uh-huh.
And Yahweh has set some in the church, first apostles.
Right.
Secondarily prophets.
Secondarily prophets are second in the administration. Not no triple high priest. Not no captain of 1,000. Who did it say first, Lysa? In Christ's order.
Apostles.
So that means you had a supernatural intervention with the Most High like Paul did. He said, I'm less of the apostle of the 12 that roll with him, but I'm no different from them because he spoke to me personally, chastised me, and straightened me out. And then let me have the power to work miracles. So I'm an apostle, yeah. Yeah, because I didn't roll with them like the 12 did, but you can't say my work is shallow. Let's read some more.
Secondarily prophets.
Uh-huh.
Thirdly teachers.
So that's where we fall in at. But they got rules. A teacher must be apt. In season and out of season. That means if a question come out the blue, you got to be prepared for it because tomorrow ain't promised to you.
That's right. That's why we must be sober-minded at all times.
They say can't be a novice. What's a novice, Lysa? Y'all remember boxing when you were young? A new booty. You just putting the gloves on, getting them laced up.
Can't be a new booty.
Can't be a new booty. You still windmilling with gloves on. No, Paul talk about shadow boxing. He said with the law, he said shadow boxing. If I beat my own shadow, he said, but you got to get past that. You can't keep whooping on the shadow. It don't hit back, dude. No. Unless it's the shadow of death. Right. Let's read some more. Where we at?
I don't think you can take that blows. After that, miracles.
After that, what?
Miracles.
Uh-huh.
Then gifts of healing.
Then gifts of healing. Go ahead.
Helps. Government.
Uh-huh.
Diversities of tongues.
Yo, see, so we got governments that people get moved in position of government like Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and a bad Negro. And then you had Joseph in government over Egypt and Moses in government. Zerubbabel was a governor. So we got to understand, y'all, what these things mean. The position that Christ is setting up his church. He got you in certain position to get on the inside. You think he's going to make us captive to a nation and we ain't going to have no reprieve? Y'all, everywhere we've been captive is always, they say, it's a Hebrew that could explain all these things and get our kingdom turned back around. Let's read some more. Where we at?
Verse 29.
Yeah.
Are all apostles?
Question mark. Did what we just read are all apostles? Mm-hmm. We read there's diversities, right? That's we right. Said thirdly, teachers and prophets. We're dealing with the second on the administration today, prophets and their instructions and what it's talking about. Because we call them last day what? Prophets. You got to understand the prophets so you don't get caught up with a false prophet. A prophet has rules he must obey. If a prophet start asking you more about what you come to question them about and you still pay them, that's a problem with your mental.
That's a different kind
if
of
they
problem.
doing like this, it's your uncle. You got an uncle starts with a B and you sitting there like this. No, maybe it's an R. No.
P-R-O-F-I-T.
Look, show it. Look. Elemental Q. Yeah, that's my Uncle Larry. We call him Quentin and
we call him Quentin.
She said, oh, okay. Yeah, next. And then they gonna ask you something else. And then finally you answering all your own questions and still say, here is the money for answering my own question. Mm-hmm. Let's read some more, y'all. Where we at?
Are all apostles?
Right.
Are all prophets? Are all teachers? Are all workers of miracles? Have all the gifts of healing? Do all speak with tongues? Do all interpret? But covet earnestly the best gifts.
Right.
And yet show I unto you a more excellent way.
See, so the script don't say thou shalt not covet. It say thou shalt not covet another man's property. Mm-hmm. But this say covet earnestly the best gift. I want that gift. But you have to get the instructions on how to do that gift. You can't be a prophet and just talking about, well, I think, man, and that dream, man, what when a cat flies out the window at midnight, and you just making up some stuff. Oh, brother, it looks pretty bad for you. Look like it's going to be this, and you looking at it. Is the hair standing up on your neck? Yeah, I can feel it. Every one of these gifts we just read got instructions with them, how to work them.
That's right.
Because you're not going to disrespect the most powerful thing that the Most High uses to give us understanding, and that's his gift that you don't deserve. Who in here deserve any of these gifts we just read about? What have you done that you say, I know he's going to give me that gift?
We don't even deserve life.
Boy, look here. Let's get right to the next understanding of that, y'all. We finished that, so we got our order. And we're talking about number 2 on the administration list of prophets. Deuteronomy 13. And we're going to get their instructions. Because if we don't get their instructions, this is what's going to happen to us. We're going to go to Matthew 24:24. Emo, y'all finna go? Okay, let me know.
We're going to Matthew first.
No, we're going to Deuteronomy 13. Yeah, we're going to come right back to that. Look, y'all see how Emo come down here with this balanced diet, balanced us on out and gave hand sanitizer, everybody all natural. Boy, you're going to be feeling like intensive care up in here, but you ain't going to be in there. Clean on the inside. able to get rid of what our class gonna be about today. Bread defiled. What you gonna do about that? But it ain't talking about that, y'all. People just reaching for that, and that gives them an excuse to say, we can say this tampered with or don't have to trust it all the way. Because I eat my bread and it's defiled. Didn't it say that? No, I didn't say that. Let's read some up.
Speaking without understanding.
Yeah.
You want to start at 1?
Yes, sir.
Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 1.
What it say? And remember, y'all, we on the second in the administration, the prophets. Go ahead.
If there arise among you a prophet.
Who?
A prophet. Or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder.
See, this is where it say, or a dreamer of dreams, because we got false prophets. They say, I'm a prophet. Ain't that what Miss Rudolph say? Come and see the prophet healer. And a hand up there. What that hand is for? Let's read some more.
5 on the black hand side.
So I guess, bro.
Verse 2.
Yeah.
And the sign or the wonder come to pass.
If it do what?
Come to pass.
See, y'all, so don't get it twisted that a sign or wonder can come to pass, because you're dealing, false prophets deal with the devil. So they're going to do magical tricks with the aid of the devil, but there's a difference from magic and miracles. Just look the two up. When you see magic, it's going to say a trick, slick, to fool the people. And then it'll say, and supernaturally, like of devils and demons. And then you look up miracle, it say outside the natural law of nature. Supernatural healing that cannot be explained.
That's right.
That's miracle. Them the two, and the difference you're going to see between a prophet and a false prophet. If it wasn't, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference, would you? That's right. This just said a prophet could, if it come to pass. They may say, Nostradamus said some things about Kennedy getting killed, didn't he? Yeah. But Nostradamus was talking some other noise that don't add up to the book of Revelation. That's right. Let's read some more.
Verse 2.
Yeah.
And the sign or the wonder come to pass, whereof he spake unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them.
See, and that's the first thing a false prophet gonna do. Gonna say, let us go after other gods. You like, what this God's name? What this God's name? How we supposed to serve? Let's read some more.
Verse 3.
Yeah.
Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet.
And even though he called him a prophet, he said, don't hearken unto the words of him. If he a prophet and he tell you go serve another God, I don't care what he's showing you. He's a false prophet or antichrist.
Right.
Ain't no need in trying to figure it out, but he did a miracle. What they got to do with the instructions? Who did he say gave him that power? Baal Peor. He got it from Hotep.
Because remember, the prophets of Baal in Egypt increased their plagues through their magic.
Sure did. Didn't they? But guess what they was doing? When Moses bring flies and frogs, we can do that. Now you just done double up the frogs on yourself trying to prove something.
Exactly. Through magic.
Because then nothing happened to the children of Israel.
Through the dark side.
Let's read some more.
Verse 3 again.
Yeah.
Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams. For the Most High your Elohim proveth you, to know whether ye love the Most High your Elohim with all your heart and with all your soul. You shall walk after the Most High your Elohim and fear him and keep his commandments and obey his voice. And ye shall serve him and cleave unto him.
So he says he's got rules for his people. So whatever you dealing with, he say, if we're dealing with prophets, I got rules for you so you don't get caught up like a false prophet. So you don't be called a false prophet, but you got to follow my rules. Yeah, they're going to talk some noise about this man said that. Don't care nothing about that. They can't tell you what the end game is. They can't tell you when the second coming going to happen. They can't tell you when to look for the days. No, they ain't got none of that because they don't want that foolishness to end. That will have to end them other guys. It's trained. It will cut off permanently. Let's read some more. 5.
And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death.
What is the penalty for false prophets?
Death. Because he hath spoken to turn you away from your master, your Elohim, which brought you out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to thrust thee out of the way which the Most High thy Elohim commanded thee to walk in. So shalt thou put that evil away from the midst of thee. If thy brother,
if thy who?
Brother, the son of thy mother, or thy son, or thy daughter, or the wife of thy bosom, or thy friend, which is as thy own soul,
like David and Jonathan,
entice thee secretly.
How they gonna entice you?
Secretly.
See, wickedness always gonna be done secretly and whispering in the dark. The Most High say, shout out on where? On the rooftop, didn't it? So everybody can hear it.
Whatever's sold in secret, shout it out.
Boy, and you know when it's secret because it's whispering. What? What? Do you want some of this stolen food stamps or not yet? No, man. Go ahead, bro.
Entice thee secretly, saying, let us go.
And do what?
And serve other gods, which thou hast not known, thou nor thy father.
How you going to serve a God called spirituality? I'm just spiritual, I ain't religious. What is the name of your God that you serve? If it's you, can I join? What happens if I don't do right according to your spiritual God? What happens to me? Am I punished? And if I do according as I say, what's the reward? Now you gone too deep with all that. You're gone too deep. No, you gone too deep. You're out in nowhere. You're saying something in the atmosphere is in charge of me with no rules. We make them up. Then why you letting it be in charge of you? You making up your own rules? How you going to have something in charge of you at that point? Let's read some more.
Verse 7.
Yeah.
Namely of the gods of the people which are round about you, nigh unto thee, or far off from thee, from the one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. Thou shalt not consent unto him.
You know why? Here, real quick, y'all. Give me Isaiah 42. Just read this real quick, because there's a measuring stick for the Most High. This is what he mean by, if they can't do this, what you chasing for? Me 41 and 22. 41 and 21. I'm sorry. This is what the Most High asks you if you get into who's God contest. Isaiah chapter 41 verse 21. Read that down to 24. Yes, sir. And we'll see this is what you have to say no matter what they talking about. That God, it has to be an end game, or do we end up like this till eternity or forevermore? Or are we in this position as the slave of the nations? Are we going to be Psalm 83 forever? All nations taking advantage of us?
No.
When is it going to be a Lucille nail shop in Chinatown? Let's read some more.
Isaiah chapter 41 verse 21.
Yeah.
Produce your cause,
Do
saith
what?
the Most High. Produce your cause, saith the Most High. Bring forth your strong reasons, saith the King of Jacob. Let them bring them forth and show us what shall happen. Let them show the former things.
Show us what's old at the beginning. Go ahead.
What they be.
What they what?
What they be. That we may consider them. And know the latter end of them, or declare us things for to come. Show the things that are to come hereafter, that we may know that ye are God.
Right.
Yeah. Do good.
Do what?
Do good. Or do evil, that we may be dismayed and behold it together.
See, and this is what the answer is. If you go chasing something, this is what it comes down to. Go ahead.
Behold, ye are nothing.
What is you?
Nothing. And your work of naught, an abomination is he that chooseth you.
See, so the Most High say, look, you want to get down with who's God, they're going to need to prove prophecy. I don't care how much Egyptology you got, you ain't got no end game when Esau's reign going to end. You think Hotep coming out of the grave? Buddha ain't coming nowhere and running nothing and taking no kingdom and ain't got no nuclear warheads.
That's right.
He ain't got no legs.
Boy, look here, show don't. Or either they hid under his belly.
He don't know. He been sitting like that for so long. He don't know what's under there.
Look here, boy, legs sleep, you say. He get up there and feel like he walking in platforms this big. Well, go ahead.
Oh, man.
We can hold up, y'all read, because we need to speed this up. Y'all read the rest of the prophet in Deuteronomy 13. The rules of a prophet. We're going to get right into another one because it's telling us what's going to happen when the prophet comes. Go ahead, Matthew 24. And y'all, we get into some Sirach in the book, in the Apocrypha, Sirach 34th chapter. It tells you about prophets, the rules again. There must be rules. Y'all, you just can't let nobody walk up to you and somebody, man, he a prophet. What he prophesying about? What is almost over for us? Or what's going on? What he got to prophesy? It's like them camps telling you David is reincarnated in this David. What the hell is he back for? What David back for? What did he forget something?
He left his wallet in El Segundo.
Boy, look here.
Where you going, Daniel?
We're going to Matthew 24 and 24. We're just going to hit that real quick. Yeah. And then we're going to, because we read 1 Tim that said this, just this real quick one. And this is what we have to be careful of, y'all. Because false prophets will take a scripture of a prophet in the middle and give you the wrong understanding. See, so we just can't cherry pick. We have to get into all of what it means. You'll eat your bread defiled. But if we start at the beginning, it's a lot of meat there where you say, oh, this is technically Acts 10 what's going on here. Peter rise, killing. It's using the same language, y'all. But we're going to see it when we get there. Let's hurry up and speed this up, y'all. Matthew 24 and 24, just hit that real quick.
Start at 23 and 24.
24, 23, and 24.
Oh, I thought you got it.
No, that's you, bro.
Matthew, you want 23, you saying?
No, it want 24.
24, verse 23 and
24.
Right, that's what I said.
Yes, sir.
We just getting an understanding.
Okay.
One accord.
Yeah, yes, sir.
All right, we're reading in the book of Matthew, chapter 24. And we'll start the reading at verse 23.
Yeah.
And it reads, Then if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Hamashiach, or there, believe it not.
Do what?
Believe it not. For there shall arise false Christ.
And who else?
And false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect.
So you got to get yourself in the elect line.
Right.
Because it's not possible for you to be deceived. If you not in that elect line, and it's say he gonna be so good with these tricks that if it were possible, he get the elect. Y'all, Satan drew a third of the angels.
Right.
Y'all think this be hard work for him? See, we can talk faith and what I'm gonna do when tribulation coming, but ain't nobody in this room been hungry past a surf sandwich. Who been hungry past a surf sandwich? That's the only reason I went hungry for 2 days. Well, why you didn't throw that chicken out? I didn't have no seasonings. Go ahead. What?
It's upsetting, but Sister Eve earlier on, she truck asked, do women have to cover our heads while reading and learning the Bible?
Only in the assembly is what the scriptures say. Within the assembly, because if you married, your husband is your covering. If you get down to the rest of the 1 Corinthians 11, it say her hair is given to her for what? What does that mean? What does it mean? Because the hair symbolizes who she is as a woman, because there's rules about a woman's hair. Because it'll entice the angels. So she have to make sure her glory don't bring in incubuses that'll visit her in her sleep. She wake up in the middle of the night smoking a cigarette. You like, what's going on, baby? Going back to sleep. This ain't for you. Go to sleep. Look here. Why do you keep thinking it's saying about the her and angels in 1 Corinthians 11 in the book of Jude and Genesis 6? Timothy talks about a woman, her. It don't say her can't look nice, but it can't be to attract. I'm doing this so I can seduce a man. You'll seduce an angel in your sleep. You want your hair to look nice. Your hair's supposed to be nice. It's your glory.
Right.
If you got BDBs back there, you got to wash your dishes in your kitchen. What you got, bro?
I heard an old man say for a woman, he said, do you study, boy? Because for a woman to attract a man is to distract a man.
If the hair is used.
Right.
See, there's a difference in going to why women like their hair and they nails and feet done. That's what they supposed to do. They were delicate in Israel. But the bottom line is it can't be used for seduction.
Right.
If you went and got your hair done Wednesday and the party is Saturday, that means you sleeping like this for a few days. You gonna be at the party like this? Who is that? You gonna be stiff as hell because you sleeping like this. You don't want your hair to get messed up for what? Tied up and now when I get hot, well, you can't have it both ways.
Because you'll find that there are a lot of women that just get their hair done just because they want it done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Supposed to take care of.
Yeah, just not for the sake of luring. But then you have some women who get their hair done up for the sake of luring men at the club.
That's what we're talking about.
Or in the red light district.
Right.
You know? So that's the whole premise, is they're going to look at my hair and my nails and things of that nature, but on the inside full of dead men bones.
Oh, look here.
That's that Proverbs 7.
Yeah. Ain't never said you can't get your hair done.
Death. She ain't got nothing but the pit of death at her house.
And look, some people, they'll use that as a tax script. There you go getting your hair fixed again. There you go get your nails done again. Well, what you want me to look like? Huh? Do you want, look, it's not right for a woman's hands to look like she been picking up junkyard rocks. I'm talking about rough all around area. White across the knuckles. Yeah. You say like these. Let's read some more. Where we at? What's the question say, sis?
Can women wear wigs?
Can she wear a wig?
Weave. Can a woman
Somebody
weave
else's hair.
and head in her
Well,
head?
look, wigs had to be worn because of cancer. When we got leprosy in Leviticus 13 and 14 chapter, they say the hair will fall out completely. You know, so back then, so it take away a woman reproach, they would have wigs for them. The problem is when men start wearing Afro wigs. Do you know they got fake beards now that they'll put on you at the barber shop? I started to come in here looking like Ezra and Stephen, but I said, no, they gonna know. It ain't no soul on the planet Earth that can do this.
We wearing that t-shirt.
Yeah, look. I'm talking about, man, you can watch the whole process. You can Google it that they're doing these at the barbershop.
And females are getting them.
And the females is getting them too. What? The okay.
Huh?
Bull daggers.
They getting beards?
Yeah.
Ooh, thank God I'm married, boy. I ain't got to deal with none of this.
Right, y'all, because we have to understand these things, y'all, because it said if her hair be shorn or shaven, let her be as a man, so you at least know, but that's not the case for certain situations, because leprosy causes hair. Not only that, but sometimes your eyebrows will fall off.
Yeah.
Now think about a woman, her hair done up and ain't a sign of eyebrows. What you be like, wait a minute.
It's called alopecia.
Alopecia. Okay, so yeah, when you dealing with that, y'all, wig have to be used at that point.
Yeah, I mean,
but if you getting hair down your back, wait a minute, and your kitchen was this long yesterday, now it's at the crack of your rear end. Who you fooling, or what is that look for?
Right.
So we have to understand, y'all in control of your conscience, because y'all in control of your consciousness about what happens when you go out. You know what you attracting. Look, they'll be at the grocery store. They'll be where you least expect.
I mean, you know what your purpose is.
Yeah.
You know why you're doing it.
Right.
I mean, you ain't fooling nobody but yourself. So you know what you're doing when you're doing and what your purpose of implementing or putting in all these extensions and all that.
Yeah.
Is it for the sake of because I gotta follow the in crowd and look a certain way to be accepted?
Look, and guess who?
If that's the case, then your mindset, your consciousness is set on flesh and not the spirit.
Look, and what are the main two shops that the other nations put in our neighborhood for women?
The wig shop.
And what else? The beauty supply, right? That's what they bring into the neighborhood. It sells the most. But you know what's out in Esauville? What sells the most? Hair removal products and tanning cream. It's number one on the list because they're trying to not look like Esau. They got to get the hair off of them. It's number one, y'all. Everything about removing hair, from snatching tape off and to pull your nipple off with it. Go ahead, Emo. Everywhere. But I'm just talking about where they come to our neighborhood and they get rich off of our iniquity. That's right. That's what we're talking about. The rappers, look, we don't care nothing about what? Zachariah, man, I don't want to hear nothing. Can you sing? Sing it. What does a woman mean? Do you call a female a garden tool? Do you call a female dog? We can use you. Can you put that on the track? Can you put this on the track? Kill my brother. Wet him up.
Can you sing it like what Kelly sings?
We'll give you the front of Knucklehead Magazine. Do you want Knucklehead Magazine?
Because you remember any of us that were around during the evolution of hip hop.
Yeah.
And how it started out being the message of the
it was the message.
It was the message of the voiceless.
Yeah.
And we use that platform to express our concerns and to build our community.
Right.
But they quickly smashed that out and started giving the gangster rap came in place.
Yeah.
And replaced all the message rap.
Yeah.
And then from gangster rap came the booty shake. Twerking.
Because
Uncle Luke came in the game.
Yes, sir.
And brought the Miami bass sound. Came the bass and the booty shake.
And look, he can't rap. Go on, get it. Come on,
get it. All he had to do was
get it.
He didn't have to rap. He just had to talk about it. Get
it. What have y'all?
He's saying just that.
Goes Hardy. Here's your birthday. Boy, Shorty moving it out of breath. I don't see him move like that in 20 years.
Hold on, but then it got to the phase where now the music is more about drug use.
That's what we're talking about.
Hey, but it's at a point now you don't know what the hell they talking about. It's mumble mouth rapping. You don't know what they saying.
Yeah, what they saying
is got a beat, and you not listening to them selling you sin.
Yeah,
and they telling you sin, and we start singing it without even consciously thinking about what we singing and promoting. I mean, I used to love if loving you was wrong, I don't want to be right.
Boy, did you sing it
I used to be blowing that bad boy. Until I realized, man,
sing
it wasn't until one day I had it blasted. My wife said, "Why you keep playing that damn song?" And I had the question, why she say it like that?
Look,
let me
the
go back and
consciousness
listen to the lyrics.
into
I'm like, oh, that's why she asked me like that. I done played it in rotation too many times.
Look here. Who you talking about?
Look, same thing with this song Al Green, Bed. Yeah. I used to love that song. Then I started listening to what he said. I'm like, he's singing about the devil. He's on the right morning star.
You gotta be careful.
We have to pay attention. It's more than That's what he used. He used the music to bait you in.
He
All
led the
you
choir.
heard is the music that's getting you going, and you listen to the lyrics later.
Yeah, I did.
He led the choir in heaven, y'all. That's why the movie Lucifer show him on in a club, and he'll just play the piano, and they flip out when he sings. He led the choir in heaven. He know music has to go forth before any war. Who come out first? The band, don't it?
Yep. It sets the tone.
It sets the tone. It gets the spirit. Like right now, we in that spirit. Before you know it, you be like, silver and gold. Wait a minute. Gotta keep them laws. Gotta keep them laws. Gotta keep them laws. Boy, them temps come on there, boy, you'll be caught short. Then, boy, you'll be caught short.
You're trying to hit Melvin Park.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson song.
Boy, Santa Claus, boy, look
Tripping,
there.
man. Tripping. Just like in the clubs, it's the DJ that set the premise of the night in the club.
Yeah.
When it goes haywire, it was the music that was jammed.
Sure was.
I've never been to a basement party and cats get to scrapping over some Earth, Wind and Fire or some Zoom, some Commodores or nothing. It just didn't mix.
If it's slow jam, the only thing you got in trouble with is if you slow dancing with who you ain't supposed to be.
Yeah.
Then it could be some trouble.
Now you got clothes.
But y'all, all we're talking about is Satan is taking advantage of your gift. If you're a musician, use your gift the right way. Don't let them take advantage of it because it's special. Y'all, it's supernatural to have a voice that the whole world wants.
Right.
White chocolate or Chinese sing, he sounds like a who? A brother.
Yep.
See, everything, even when you
blue-eyed soul.
look, what everything they doing, fattening their lips and their rear end to look like who? So, and then you go chase after what's artificial, and you already got it right here. What happens when that stuff start backfiring? Start getting dents in it, and just look like you know how you stuff dirty clothes in a pillowcase, and it just be. Where you at, bro?
I was just going again. We just had an incident, last week where they had a concert down somewhere down south.
Yeah.
A lot of people got hurt.
Yeah. Travis Scott. Yeah.
Because of the music. Raging, raving at the same time.
Look, that's what it's called, that music. And demonic, they got a portal. They're coming out of a portal to an upside down cross. When you look at that's a portal they coming out. They're saying basically the bottomless pit is open, y'all. And you look at his shirt, the information that's on the shirt and what he's hollering, and death is in the air at this point. They stormed the fence before the concert started to get to the front. To hear what? You rushing to hear what?
Blah, blah, blah.
Sin.
Let's get caught up, y'all. We ain't got about 40 minutes. I got a few scripts. Where we at? Hope that answered the question about the hair for women. Men, you got to be bald head. Ain't nothing you can do. You just can't come up in here, you got the slick look, and the next thing you know, you looking like Colin Kaepernick. What is Colin Kaepernick? Yeah.
Colin Kaepernick.
You be like, wait a minute.
I think you're going to that Matthew 24.
24 and 24. We hit that.
We already did that.
That's where you at, what, Elijah? Going down to verse 26.
There we are.
Okay.
Where you
There we are. Yeah, go 26 through 29, and we'll call it on that.
I thought you
We stopped at
24.
24. I told you about false prophets should deceive the very elect. Y'all read the rest of that, y'all. Let's move on. Jeremiah 25. And let's get in 16, y'all. And this is the don't of a prophet. So this is going to tell you what the prophet that don't chase is going to do. If you don't keep up with this, you're going to be hoodwinked like them boys was up on the West Coast. And one told them in the year 2000, Christ was coming back. They got their little hobo satchels and went up on the top floor of this building. Look at it. The whole time you saying, don't pay attention to this nation, but you're counting down the new year according to their calendar. You on the roof with your hobo satchel, waiting on the Messiah, and they 2, 1, and they holler, hey, and you waiting for the sky to bust open after about 2 hours. You like, wait a minute, it's 2:30. And then pretty soon you see, is that the sun coming up? You say he was coming back. He told you, no man know the day nor hour. Can you know the week?
No, let's just go get some breakfast and come back up here.
He said day nor hour. It's possible to be inside that week. It's possible to know you're inside the week, he said, because it'll be right at the door. You're going to know, but the day of, you can't know because you won't try to get ready until the day of that moment. Boy, the night before, boy, you would do all the partying you can and die before the next day if you knew the day.
Yeah.
Who we fooling?
Just like in the days of Noah. They had 120 years and no one did nothing until that first rain dropped.
If you can find the oil, if you can find the oil right now, you'll see fingernails in it like this. Trying to get in too late. Let's read some more.
You going to Jeremiah?
Jeremiah 25, we're going to start about 16. Y'all, we have to understand these things. We're dealing with the prophets and the administration, second on the list of the administration of Christ. So you can't go to prophets that's talking about under the order of Aaron. And those prophets still were ruled by the priest, so to speak. Nathan? Nathan would tell high priest what the deal was, but unless he had the authority of the word, the priest could say put him to death, because the priest was our lawyers and doctors at the time. Let's read some more. Where we at? Let's get that, y'all.
Reading in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 25. I'm going to start at verse 15.
Yeah.
And it reads, For thus saith the Most High Yah of Israel unto me, take the wine cup of this fury at my hand,
right,
and cause all the nations to whom I send thee to drink it. And they shall drink and be moved and be mad because of the sword that I will send among them. Then took I the cup at the Most High's hand, and made all the nations to drink unto whom the Most High had sent.
Hold on right there, bro. I want 23 and 16. That's what I want. I'm sorry, y'all. 23 and 16. My bad, y'all.
Do I still get paid for that, sir? Right, I don't. Kingdom bucks. We don't make much money now. Yeah.
Start 23. Start at verse 10.
You ready to say it?
Isaiah slide in there.
Oh, okay. I want to invite him to the party.
They want him to feel left out.
Yeah, we got another
because
body back.
Leslie will come in late, boy. He won't eat.
No, he
my reading spot.
Yeah. Right. So we're going to the book of Jeremiah.
23.
23, and what you want out? 12.
Go ahead. No, 23, 16. Let's get right to the heart of it, y'all. 23:16, Jeremiah. I just want to get right to it. Huh?
Okay.
No, we're going to get right into it. We know they wicked. Y'all read, start verse 1. And this is about the prophets. He going to get shepherds of his own. But we want to get right to the part where we're talking about the prophets and what happens. You know, because this is the instructions of all of one tells us this is what they're going to do. Or what to look out for, but then 16 starts to tell us what to watch out for. Go ahead.
All right, the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23 and verse 15.
What it say?
Therefore, thus saith the Most High of hosts concerning the prophet.
Concerning who?
The prophet.
Uh-huh.
Behold, I will feed them with wormwood and make them drink the water of God. For from the prophets of Jerusalem is profaneness gone forth into all the land.
So it's talking about the prophets of Jerusalem. When you get to verse 1 on down, we're just getting to the point of why he's saying, this is what I'm going to feed them with. Telling them lies that they are prophets. Mm-hmm. And then, like the same incidents, I'm saying we're going to move on to the incident where they was up on the roof and they came back down and they start calling them false prophets. See, now we just read the false prophet. What should happen to him? And they under the order. He should have been stoned to death, shouldn't he? But that's when they leap out of Aaron and try to find their way. Melchizedek and say, the only reason Christ didn't come back, this is what the general out of New York, your hog belly, said, is because all of y'all in here wouldn't have got the word. And everybody start clapping. Wait a minute, how about they been born in the kingdom? You understand what I'm saying? He's saying, my prophecy failed of the second coming because it wasn't time yet for y'all. Well, that make you a false prophet. Right. If it don't, then who could be a false prophet? What's the measuring stick at that point? Right. Well, see, just like when Jonah, the Lord knew he was going to heal Nineveh, but he sent Jonah anyway with a prophecy. Are you losing your mind? The prophecy was to show Jonah, who was an Israelite, how to be long-suffering, and how other nations, when they see his wrath coming, they get in gear, because Nineveh got in line. Even the animals was put in sackcloth. Right. And here I'm trying to show you, you get thrown out of a ship. I prepared that well. It wasn't no regular well. I prepared the stomach in it to take you on. Then I threw you on the land, and then I put shade over you when it wasn't there. I'm showing you how I take care of you, and you're not looking at Nineveh. I know Nineveh gonna repent. I'm trying to get you, Jonah, to understand. And they use that to cover their false prophecy with Nineveh, instead of just saying, we ought to bust your head, but we're gonna give you a break. Don't you make no more false prophecies. Let's read some more.
Verse 16.
Yeah.
Thus saith the Most High of Hosts, hearken not unto the words of the prophets that prophesy unto you. They make you vain.
What they do?
They make you vain.
Uh-huh.
They speak a vision of their own heart.
Where the vision coming from?
From their own heart.
Uh-huh.
And not out of the mouth of the Most High.
And when you hear everybody say, Trey, I got a word today. What the word talking about? You got a word on the second coming? What's the word you got? Lord gonna work something in your life. And when does that gonna take place? See, y'all, and that's what happened. And you think she must be a prophet. She prophesied to him, told him something was gonna happen. Well, what is it gonna be? Because every prophet in the Bible say, on this day, at this hour, in this week, this is what's going to happen to you. Be prepared. I got a word for you. What do that mean, Elijah? Okay, go ahead. You don't know. Go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
Even Jesus.
Yeah.
Verse 17.
Yeah.
They say still unto them that despise me, the Most High hath said, ye shall have peace. And they say unto everyone that walketh after the imagination of his own heart, no evil shall come upon you. For who hath stood in the counsel of the Most High?
Who?
And hath perceived and heard his word? Who hath marked his word and heard it?
See, the rules for the prophet, and you see also in Isaiah 30, it tells you, mark his word. Note it in a book, because it has to be used as a witness against you. These false prophets ain't writing nothing down. If you hear them say, man, I got a word from the Lord, did you write it down? Huh? Watch out and throw a monkey wrench and everything. What?
Yeah.
Did you write it down? I will next time. We'll worry about next time. See, and they automatically getting in because they're thinking, I read that somewhere. And why did he ask me out of all the people? Everybody else gonna be waiting by their mailbox for that check coming from the bank of nowhere. Why did he have to ask me that? Well, I'll write it down next time. Y'all, it's simple work, y'all. We ain't got to fight this hard. You just ask him. The rules say you're supposed to write it down. If God talks to you, write it down. Let's read some more.
He just ain't gonna tell you.
Right. Right.
Verse 19.
Yeah.
Behold, a whirlwind of the Most High is gone forth in fury, even a grievous whirlwind. It shall fall grievously upon the head of the wicked.
Right.
The anger of the Most High shall not return until he have executed, until he have performed the thoughts of his heart. In the latter days ye shall consider it perfect.
See, in the latter days, y'all, we could consider it perfectly. if we at the end of this run, that's when it's going to make its most sense. That's why you have to endure until the end. If you opt out now and say, man, I'm sick of that Bible, we still waiting, dog. You ain't number 30 years old and you tired already. When you got into it, it was 2,000 years that had already passed and they've been waiting. The disciples asked, when shall your coming be? That was 2,000 a year ago when you got into it. How you tired after a few years? Shalom, y'all.
Shalom.
Go ahead, read some up. Waiting. Go ahead.
Verse 21.
Yeah.
I have not sent these prophets, yet they reign.
What they do?
They reign. I have not spoken to them, yet they prophesy. But if they had stood in my counsel and had caused my people to hear my words, then they should have turned them from their evil way.
What should they have done?
They should have turned them from their evil way and from the evil of their doings. Am I a God at hand, saith the Most High, and not an Elohim afar off? Can any hide himself in secret places that I shall not see him, saith the Most High? Do not I fill heaven and earth, saith the Most High?
Yeah.
I have heard what the prophets said, that prophesy lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed, I have dreamed.
See, and when we use that, a lot of people ain't that talking about Martin Luther King right there, that's talking about Martin Luther King. The only problem with that is that you use this condemn them, but the end one you're using to uplift it. So the end of a man is better than his beginning, because if a wicked man, if you say at the end his last speech was to tell us we Israel, then you can't pound him out with this and say look at his despicable acts. But then right here he got it straight. He knew who he was. Then we have to go with how he got it straight. You can't. Well, no. Well, I have a dream of little white boys and little white girls. No, that ain't happening in America.
No,
that ain't happening in America.
It ain't happening. And his last speech was totally different.
Yeah, when he knew he was gonna get killed.
The night before he got killed, was he was speaking on the trash workers strike.
So he
said, we may not get there with you, but we as a people will make it to the promised land.
See, once you go there and use that, then you have to explain 23 right here. I have dreamed, because he corrected at the end. If you're saying he corrected a wicked man that turned from his wickedness,
all his wickedness
shall what? See, so we can't use that against him in that breath. Only if you use his last speech as bumping it up that he said we the children of Israel, and now he's fulfilling prophecy by what he's saying. I'm gonna get killed. I ain't gonna get there with you, but we as a what shall get to where? Who in the audience? Right. So if we use that, then we have to go with that. Yes, he has some transgression, but we got to talk about the end. What's the difference between him and David? Right. Did he ever kill a man for his woman? Did he ever number Israel? Not to my knowledge. See, so we have to be careful. If you use it as saying he's a prophet, and that last one he didn't clear that up, then we understand what you're saying.
We got to be righteous in our judgment.
Yeah.
On all levels.
Let's get it, y'all. Where we at?
Verse 26.
Yeah.
How long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies?
Yeah, you're going to hold it at 29.
Okay. Yeah, they are prophets of the deceit of their own heart.
What are they prophets of?
The deceit of their own heart.
See, their own flesh done confused them. It's got you fooled. Go ahead.
Verse 27.
Yeah.
Which think to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams which they tell every man to his neighbor, as their fathers have forgotten my name for Baal.
For who?
For Baal. The prophet that hath a dream, let him tell a dream. And he that hath my word, let him speak my word faithfully.
How you gonna speak it?
Faithfully. What is the chaff to the wheat, saith the Most High? Is not my word like as a fire, saith the Most High, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces? That's 29.
Yeah, go ahead, hit 30.
Therefore, behold, I am against the prophets saith the Most High, that steal my words, every one from his neighbor.
And then go ahead. Yeah, 31. Yeah.
Behold, I am against the prophets, saith the Most High, that use their tongues and say, he said.
See, we're going to hold up. Y'all read the rest of that, but that's what Paul say. He say, the Lord said to me. He say, what he say to you? He say, do what? You can have chitlins at your will.
Just pray over.
Just pray over. See, and what's so important about that 1 Tim 4 is say, if you pray over the word, is every creature is accepted. What are we to the Most High? If we're creatures, that means a creation of the Most High. So can you eat a human being? No, now see, you being stupid. Why is that being stupid? You saying you can have ham hock surprise and chitlin or jewel. But long as you pray over, it's good.
But see, this is the thing. The Most High said all his creations are good, but they have specific
meaning,
and purposes. Everything ain't good for human consumption, or interaction. Just like the foreign nations weren't good for our interacting with them or marriage, because they turn our hearts from our Elohim to follow their pagan gods and deities and rituals. Certain animals are created for specific uses in the earth to cleanse the earth. The pigs has a specific use. It's a good thing.
You can't look at them,
but you can't consume it.
Right. It's just
it has a purpose. So does the crabs and the sea urchins and all that. They have their purpose. They're a good creation because they serve a purpose. But it's not for your human consumption.
And see, that's the funny thing about it, man. These dietary laws in here are given to us, but other nations of the world eat all of that crazy stuff. But who was the first one to eat stuff that looked like that?
Boy, look here. Boy, look. It was the broken law because Noah's sons got the law when they got off the ark. So the whole world had the law under the Melchizedek order. They just switched. But y'all, we want to hurry up and get through this because we got to get Ezekiel 4, y'all. It's a lot of meat in here. I got to get through in these 40 minutes, y'all. And I'm running out of time, y'all. So we got to get these. Go ahead.
Hebrew Let's Talk got a question. It says, I cannot understand how evil enticing angels can attack you in sexual manner while you sleep if you are praying and keeping your mind on God, rather you cover your head or not. Rather you cover your head or not.
Well, look, and that's what we're talking about. Your hair is your covering because, look, you can't wear a head wrap in your dreams when the devil come. And when he come as an incubus and lure you in. Eve was lured in. That's what Paul talked about in 2 Corinthians 11. I want to present you as a chaste virgin. Did I say chaste? Not as Eve was, who was seduced. Eve was seduced in her supernatural state. That's why the penalty is death until the Messiah come back at the second coming. That's a long death sentence. Eve couldn't die with that curse. That was for the offspring too. As well as 3:17 for the men, you got to work by your bra till you dead. Those were lifelong curses because they got caught in a supernatural state. They're everlasting death covenants. Like same death don't come into Isaiah 65 and 20 when you read, and then shall the dust be the serpent's meat when the lamb lay down with the lion and the wolf eat grass as the oxen. Then shall the dust be the serpent's meat. That curse don't happen till Christ come back. Satan, he's under a curse, but his death penalty don't happen till the second coming. So he's fully activated to crack our heads.
Just like judgment don't happen for us.
Boy, look here.
Until that time. You know, many die. Many go to torment or into Abraham's bosom, but the judgment is not yet.
Not yet. Let's get it. Ezekiel 4th chapter, y'all. We got to speed this up really quickly, y'all. I ain't going to say much. If Zev don't say nothing to stop it.
Go ahead, Lottie.
Ezekiel what? 4.
Chapter 4, y'all. And what this is about, this is the one that everybody will go to say we're supposed to eat our bread defiled. And they start talking about the scriptures and you can't explain. And then you start thinking, so what does that mean? If you have to eat your bread defiled, then how are we going to ever tell somebody you can't eat pork? You understand what I'm saying? How are we going to talk about they got to have unleavened bread at the Passover? Your bread is defiled. What's unleavened about?
Right.
Let's read some more. We're going to get some good understanding, though. Just start at 1 so we can get some understanding, then we'll drop down to the point. But we have to establish the subject matter, why this came up.
That's right.
And this is the prophet Ezekiel. Go ahead, bro.
Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 1.
What it say?
Thou also, son of man, take thee a tile and lay it before thee, and portray upon it the city, even Jerusalem.
So he said, get a towel, a square towel, and paint Jerusalem. That's what portray means, to paint an image of. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And lay siege against it, and build a fort against it, and cast a mount against it. Set the camp also against it, and set battering rams against it round about. Moreover, take thou unto thee an iron pan, and set it for a wall of iron between thee and the city, and set thy face against it, and it shall be besieged, and thou shalt lay siege against it. This shall be a sign to the house of Israel. Lie thou also upon thy left side, and lay the iniquity of the house of Israel upon it. According to the number of the days that thou shalt lie upon it, thou shalt bear their iniquity.
So this is talking about the iniquity of Israel before we get down here talking about eating your bread defiled. I need you to do some Ezekiel first. You got to lay on your side for this, man. This going to be for their wickedness. See, Ezekiel experienced it first before it moved to the nation. Let's read some more.
Verse 5.
Yeah.
For I have laid upon thee the years of their iniquity.
Of their what?
Iniquity.
What is iniquity, y'all? Let's read some more.
According to the number of the days, 390 days, so shalt thou bear the iniquity of the house of Israel.
What's 390 days? That's 3 years and about a month, ain't it?
No, 1 year.
Well, hold on. 365 days. What I'm thinking about, bro?
I don't know.
Okay, go ahead. but that's almost a year and a month. 13 months. 13 months, y'all. Go ahead.
Verse 6.
Yeah.
And when thou hast accomplished them, lie again on thy right side, and thou shalt bear the iniquity of the house of Judah 40 days. I have appointed thee each day for a year.
See, so now Judah and Jerusalem, or all the other 11 tribes, he's got different rules for them about this situation for their iniquity. Go ahead. What else to say? You got it? Okay, all right. Go ahead.
Verse 7.
Yeah.
Therefore, thou shalt set thy face toward the siege of Jerusalem, and thine arm shall be uncovered. Thou shalt prophesy against it.
What shall he do?
Prophesy.
So now we finna get true prophecy because it's about our disobedience. That's what our prophets did, y'all. Put us back on the right path. Go ahead.
Verse 8. And behold, I will lay bands upon thee, and thou shalt not turn thee from one side to another, till thou hast ended the days of thy siege. Take thou also unto thee wheat, and barley, and beans, and lentils, and millet, and fitches, and put them in one vessel.
What you gonna do with them?
Put them in one vessel.
See, all this on the clean list of the vegetables. Go ahead.
And make thee bread thereof, according to the number of the days that thou shalt lie upon thy side. 390 days shalt thou eat thereof. Thy meat, which thou shalt eat, shall be by weight, 20 shekels a day. From time to time shalt thou eat.
So he put them on a strict diet, and you're going to eat at certain times because we can't run out of food. You can't, according to this, because I need you to stay stationary because it's to correct their sins. So I'm going to give you a little bit of food every day while you laying on your side. Go ahead.
Verse 11. Thou shalt drink also water by measure, the 6th part of a hin. From time to time thou shalt drink.
So it said water as a 6th part of hen. That don't mean drink a sixth part of Hennessy. It say water as a 6th part. That's about a pint and a half a day of water you get to drink.
It say right here in the clip note about a quart.
About a quart?
Yeah.
What's a quart? How many quarts in the gallon? 4? Say about a quart. So 16 in the gallon, 64 in the gallon. So a quart would be,
man, I'm an artist. I'll draw
8 divided by 64. Y'all know what it is. But about a quart, y'all, per day. Go ahead.
I'll draw them for you, man. Verse 12. And thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, and thou shalt bake it with dung that cometh out of the man in their sight.
Uh-oh, right here, they stop right there. That is your God. Now look here. Y'all finna eat, it ain't Simon croquette. Y'all finna eat some doo-doo croquettes? Oh. From a man? But let us keep reading, y'all. Don't ever let them stop you right there. Let's keep reading. What else it say?
Keep reading.
Yeah.
Please keep reading. And the Most High said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whether I would drive them. Then said I.
Who was then said I? Who's saying this? Ezekiel. Go ahead.
Lord Yahweh, behold, my soul have not been polluted.
What has it not been?
Polluted.
See, he's thinking about the prophecy of what the Lord has asked him to do. Wait, do what? Eat bread defiled? You gonna cook it with man's doodle as energy? And understand that that's only fuel. You didn't. It wasn't a man. Did you drop that load? Did you eat them greens and said, did you get a good load and you dump it in there and stir it up in your bread and then you bake it? No, that ain't what it's saying. It's saying for fuel. Right. You can't use human dung as fuel because we eat meat. We eat poison. But we're going to see what the Most High say. Let's read some more and we get some understanding.
You also have to understand the parables of what goes into a man that defiles a man, what comes out of a man that defiles.
That's right. What it say, like?
Okay, verse 14.
Yeah.
Then said I, Lord Yahweh, behold, my soul have not been polluted. For from my youth up even to now have I not eaten of that which dieth of itself.
Which do what?
Dieth of itself.
Roadkill.
Or is torn in pieces.
Oh, now that's roadkill or whatever dieth of itself. Or beasts have a heart attack and just drop dead. It dieth of itself. You can't even eat that. Go ahead.
Neither came there abominable flesh into my mouth.
Any abominable flesh on the other side of the dietary rule, Deuteronomy 14, Leviticus 11. This is what Ezekiel is saying. Nothing like that has happened. Hold that real quick, Ariel. Just give me Acts 10 and 13. Just real quick, y'all, so we can understand this ain't nothing new in how the Most High operate. He has to give you a sign of how wicked somebody is being so it clicks in. See, right now here we thinking because we just read iniquities and different things like that. Y'all, if y'all saw the seven deadly sins on Showtime, they go through each sin as a half-hour series. It's 7 of them, 7 deadly sins. When they show you what's going on with the 7 deadly sins that the Most High hate, y'all gonna be looking at TV, you gonna say, ain't no way in the hell this is going on in the world today. When you look at lust and greed and gluttony, when you look at what they display as the 7 deadly sins and what people are doing to say, you're going to say, my God, we in Sodom and Gomorrah, we at the door. Y'all, Showtime is running it, so it ain't like we ain't been warned. When y'all look it up, just look it up, the 7 deadly sins out there on Showtime. And when they run through them, they're in the lust so bad. Men want to be women so bad. This company makes skin suits with a female stuff on it, and he steps into it, put a wig on and a mask, and he's sitting out on the bench with his legs crossed like he a woman with a woman's skin suit on. This company, and they say we can't keep them on the shelves. Let's read some more, y'all. But this is the wickedness we talking about. Go ahead, Elijah. You at verse
Acts 10.
Yeah, Acts 10, 13. What you got, Ariel?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Zed.
Acts chapter 10, verse 13.
Yes, sir. What it say?
And there came a voice to him.
Rise,
Peter, kill and eat.
Do what?
Rise, Peter, kill and eat.
See, now both these individuals in trance because they're going through prophecy. So Peter just on the rooftop, he was hungry, and then he fell into a trance. Go ahead. What else it say?
But Peter said, not so, Lord.
What Peter say?
Not so, Lord. For I have never eaten anything that is common or unclean. And the voice spake unto him again the second time, what Yah hath cleansed, that call not
thou come. See, now if you stop there, you'll think, because preachers use this a lot, say you can eat pork. If you stop there, don't call hog meat unclean. But when you get to verse 28, Peter then explains, oh, the vision told me not to call any man common or unclean. The diet is good. But notice what Peter also said here. He said, while Peter doubted within himself what the vision might mean, then the three men showed up at the door. But he didn't doubt God. He said, this has got to be me. I'm keeping the law, but God is all righteous. It's still got to be me. It's something I'm doing that he's telling me. What did I miss when the Messiah was here that opened the door for I can eat anything? What did I miss? But when you get to verse 28, it'll tell you that the Gentiles was coming in. He just used unclean beasts to compare it. So he's comparing our wickedness to eating your bread, like getting your word, like it's mixed with something. But we're going to get back to that Ezekiel, because we're going to see what is mixed with and what the Lord changed his mind and what he said. That's the key to what we're talking about, because that fuel is different from human fuel. You can't fertilize your garden with human dung.
Right.
And y'all know y'all have been somebody open the bathroom door, you be like, wait a minute, we need to put some homicide tape up in here. Is somebody dead? You gonna put that in some cabbages or lettuce to grow? Y'all. We get back at that Ezekiel, y'all, real quick.
You might get a cap off there and mind putting something there.
Yeah.
The individual that asked the question said they didn't have an understanding on how angels can be enticed, that they didn't get an answer to that question.
They left their first estate according to Genesis 6 chapter. Their estate was to watch and make sure Satan and his demons. See, these are the watchers. This is a separate group from Satan and his demons. They were to watch women to make sure Satan didn't get at them. They were protectors. But they fell off their game, and they like, man, they are beautiful. Damn, man. I mean, and then they left their first estate. And you get into some Book of Enoch, 14th and 15th chapter, and you see what happened with them and where that went to. It ended the world. It was because of that action. It didn't say they couldn't have. It said they left a post. Like we just read about the post. It's like somebody leaving a post of a prophet and go try to be a healer. No, you heal through prophecy. You don't heal through laying on hands. That gift was not given to you unless you covet it and it's given to you.
Jude chapter 6.
And Jude chapter 6.
Jude verse 6.
So you have to understand why Jude keeps saying that, because of the angel. Peter said, because of the angel. That's not our job to figure out. You got to figure out what does and when do angels come? When do the devil come and mess with you? In your sleep. Deuteronomy 23:10 say, if a man have a nocturnal emission, a wet dream, he has to do the same thing as a man in Leviticus 15 if he had a wife and then the same thing happened of intercourse. He's having intercourse in his sleep. How do we have a law about intercourse in your sleep? You know why? Because it's supernatural at that point. You're in your dream state. If you use your hand, you must use it rigorously with what I hear from people that do that. But and if you clothes burning, that causes friction. But you're laying on your back in a dream and it say pow. And you wake up, your shorts are filled with man product. How does that happen supernaturally? You're watching, and I have to say it because the baby girl back there, hope it went over her head.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully it did. But it's up here that you have to get up and obey laws because of what happened in your dream. How does that happen? Any man in here right now, do it right now. While you wait.
Oh, you know? Oh, you think about it.
You can't. That's the only reason I said it, because you can't. But why do you think there's supernatural laws for you being in your sleep state? That's when the devil come. You protected. Now we can talk all the noise we want. Me and my brother, I wish he would come in here right now. I would say I meet him out on the parking lot. And he said, I'm gonna meet him in the park. I'm gonna meet you in the parking lot of your mind tonight while you're dreaming. And we'll talk then. We'll talk then in your sleep. Let's read some more. What do you think a nightmare is called? Let's finish this up. Like, we ain't got number 10 minutes.
Elisha ain't even there.
He ain't there? Okay. He was there in spirit a minute ago. Where we at? Pick it up for him.
No, you were.
Pick it up for him.
We stopped that. We back to the Ezekiel.
Oh, that was light shoe.
Come on, pick that Ezekiel back up, y'all, because we got to pick it up verse 14. Verse 15. And we're going to see the replacement that helped us out of where most people stop at. Let's read some more.
Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 14. Then said I, our Lord Yahweh, behold, my soul has not been polluted.
What has my soul not been?
Not been polluted. For from my youth up, even to now, have I not eaten of that which died of itself, or is torn in pieces. Neither came there abominable flesh into my mouth.
What the Lord say right here?
Then he said unto me, Lo, I have given thee cow's dung for man's dung, and thou shalt prepare thy bread therewith.
So right here, this is Ezekiel going through this before we ever get put into captivity. He had to go through. He said, look, I'm going to replace man's dung with cow dung. See, cow dung, you don't have to scoop it up. It lays out there. It turns to a patty. Sometimes you be flying it like a fridge. But it's fertilizer. You know why? Because they chew at the cud. They only chew green grass, and that's the only thing that's in the dung. It's chewed up grass and cud. So when you fertilize, all you're fertilizing back in the ground is what the cow chewed. All he's chewing is grass. Yep. You can't fertilize with man dung because it may be full of anything. So when you burn cow dung, it's just fuel. It's like propane. And they was just cooking with it as fuel. That's all they was doing. But the cow is righteous, right? Because of what it eats. But a man's dung isn't. Why a man dung? Because every other dung has to be covered up. Give me a little bit while we putting this real quick. Give me Deuteronomy 23:13. Real quick, just read that real quick so we get some understanding. And this, if we was at war, wherever we was at, don't a dog cover up his dung? Yeah. When a dog let loose, he start kicking sand and dust, boy, crack your windshield. And he cover it up, don't he? But a cow let loose and a horse are let loose, but they're just eating hay. Yes, it's steaming and it's smoking and it's flies big as a eagle, but that's all it is. Yeah. It's not human dung. Let's read some more. Real quick, Deuteronomy 23:13. What that say?
Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 13. And thou shalt have a paddle upon thy wagon.
Or a shovel. They used to call them paddles because they look like a shovel. Go ahead.
And it shall be when thou wilt ease thyself.
What, when thou wilt do what?
Ease thyself abroad. Thou shalt dig therewith, and shalt turn back and cover that which cometh from thee.
See, so you had to cover up your doo-doo. Yo, we just can't bend over and let a load loose and leave it right, sir. That grass will never grow again. You have to take a shovel and dig a hole and put that down in that hole and cover it up. Man's done because it loaded with poisons. Go ahead, what 14 say?
For the Most High, thy power walketh in the midst of thy camp.
What he walketh in?
In the midst of thy camp. To deliver thee and to give upon thine enemies before thee. Therefore shall thy camp be holy, that he see no unclean thing in thee.
See,
and turn away from thee.
No unclean thing, y'all, because he said if you be out in the field, because in the cities we had outhouses. You had a place to relieve yourself, to ease yourself. But y'all, we just can't leave nothing like that sitting out. You know the difference. You'll look at human and you know the difference between that and a dog. You like, what low down, bent over right here? Right. Remember what they did to us down in our bottom steps? Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Now, I thought that was from a dog. No, what's them elephants? A mammoth elephant, cause of what was there. Boy, that took about 3 shovels of dirt. Didn't it? Boy, look here. Yeah, you like shit. That mean he got to be in the hospital a day.
He ain't no virgin.
He right look here, boy. Come on, y'all. Let's listen. I got 5 minutes. So y'all. So look here. Yeah, boy. Cause I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
No.
Boy, it looked like a 6-pound baby we had to cover up with dirt. It was like that. So
Watermelon.
I'm telling you, man. Let's pick it up, y'all. Y'all want to get these last 5 minutes in real quick, y'all. May have to do a part 2 of this.
Had to name it hard.
Yeah. So we see that he replaced it with fuel that would not cause a problem for how we ate our bread. It would not cause, but it's because of our iniquity. But that don't mean everywhere we go, we eating our bread bad.
Right.
No, if it says cook it with the clean stuff, cook it with vegetable oil, cook it with canola oil. You don't have to cook with man's dung, so to speak. You can cook it with all this. You just can't cook it. What vegetable oil come from?
Yes.
Where do baby oil come from? Let's just get to it. I'm just messing with y'all, but because you can't cook with baby oil. What baby oil come from? Because vegetable oil come from vegetable.
Right.
Canola oil come from corn. Let's get some more, y'all, real quick. Right, squeeze them out, boy. Twist your ankle around, just twisting it like a figure 4. Yeah, that's enough right there. Y'all, because we done kind of run out of time, we got a little homework. I was gonna get into Elijah the Tishbite, but give me just while we got just a few minutes. We're gonna end and we got 5. Give me 1 Kings 17. See, I just wanted to show that and compare it to Acts 10, the prophecy he was having about Israel. He's in a vision. So he's not at that point either. He's just telling you it's going to be like this. Look, you're going to use clean fuel. Cow dung is clean fuel. It's just methane gas.
Right.
Do you know what it would be if you had to pick up cow's dung everywhere you went, if you owned a farm? But you don't have to, because it goes right back into the soil because it is what it was eating at. Where we at? Give me real quick 1 Kings 17, y'all. We're just going to read just a little bit of this, and we're going to close on out the rest of the homework. It's something very important about what we're talking about, unclean beef, and what happens, like Elijah was saying. The Most High used what we consider bad things that we can't eat, but he used them for other purposes. Look, he said we just can't eat swine. A weasel is from the wrong family, from the badger family. The badger is from the weasel family. But badger skin covered the Ark of the Covenant. Why? Ezekiel 16, they covered it. He said, I dress you out in badger skin sandals. Jeremiah just ain't like the word gators. It is in his DNA. Now later gators. Well, I mean, we were given dangerous animal shoes just not to eat, but to wear. Snakes, gators, lizards. Wear them, but don't eat them. Let's read this real quick, y'all. We're going to get on ahead. 1 Kings. Cow back. Let's get it. See, some people, no, you a football player. You can't play with a pig skin. Why? It didn't say nothing about that. It said you can't eat pig skin. That was it. Where we at?
1 Kings 17.
Yeah, and 1. Start that real quick, y'all. We just going to get a little bit of this. And we're going to get Elijah. And because of what this is this is a clean man being brought food by a dirty bird. And then just wanted to hit Deuteronomy 12, where clean meat is given to unclean individuals. But we know unclean don't mean defiled. It just means you're going through a cleansing process until sunset. Once sunset hits, you're not unclean anymore. Defilement means you're detestable. So we need to understand different. But get this real quick, y'all. We got 2 minutes. Go ahead.
1 Kings chapter 17, verse 1.
What it say?
And Elijah the Tishbite, who was of the inhabitants of Gilead, said unto Ahab, as the Most High Yahweh liveth, of Israel liveth, before whom I stand, there shall not be dew nor rain these years, but according to my word. And the word of the Most High came unto him, saying, Get thee hence, and turn thee eastward, and hide thyself by the brook Cherith, that is before Jordan. And it shall be that thou shalt drink of the brook, And I have commanded the ravens to feed thee there.
What did he command?
Ravens.
See, so just like he prepared the well for Jonah to swallow him, he made a special place in the well. Jonah, that would make you clean beside. He said, but I prepared the well. Just like this right here. What did he say he just did, Elijah?
Commanded the ravens to feed him.
So now ravens eat roadkill. Yep. If you're not careful, people going to point to this of different doctrines and say, right there, your God just asked a raven to bring Elijah roadkill. Read them up.
So he went and did according to the word of the Most High. For he went and dwelt by the brook Cherith. That is before Jordan.
Right.
And the ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning, and bread and flesh in the evening. And he drank of the brook.
So once you understand what the raven is doing, is he bringing them roadkill? No, all it is because when you read the prior chapter 16 is when he had the war with the Baal priest. Jezebel has got the hit on Elijah. She got the hit on him because he had them all killed. So if doves are come, where ravens are, ain't nobody tripping off of it because they think it's dead over there. So he's feeding them with the bird only for that deal, and it brings them bread and the meat that he's able to. They ain't got nothing to do with it being a dead bird. It ain't roadkill. It's to prevent those who following him from knowing. If you see some vultures there, you don't go that way. You say there's some dead flesh over there being eaten, or they circling around dead flesh. So when you read the 16th chapter, you'll see that Jezebel, after he killed them Baal priests, Jezebel said he did what? I got some soldiers left. They say, you got plenty of soldiers left. Mount up and get after Elijah. Go get him and bring him back to me. Elijah took off running. And this was after he made lightning come down. Right. But Jezebel say, bring him to me. Bring him to me personally. And 17 starts off with Ahab, her husband, who she had been putting her foot in his rear end. Y'all read the rest of that, y'all. I just have to go. And it talks about the woman. This was setting him up to meet the woman that was a widow and had a son. He extended her all that she only had bread and oil for one. She said, I don't even know if it's for a day. We was going to eat this little bit and then we knew we was going to die. He stretched it out and brought that miracle back. But raven, I just wanted to get just another one, what the Most High said about raven. He didn't tell us to eat ravens. He didn't say eat what ravens did, but he let us know. Genesis 8, he sent the raven out first. Yeah. Right. The raven went back and forth. He's coming back to the ark because the raven can land on a dead body.
Yeah. Let him know the water receipt.
He don't have to come back, but the dove couldn't find anywhere to perch because it won't perch on dead body. So the dove came right back inside. Then he sent it out again. When it came back with the olive leaf, he said, oh, the water's off the earth. But the raven could have been just riding on a hippopotamus, riding by in the flood water. That's what it do. So that's its purpose is good, but you can't do or eat it like you can eat chicken because it's on the bad list. It eats flesh. We can't eat birds that eat flesh. So that's Genesis 8. Give me Luke 12:24, y'all. These just some one hitters and we're going to close out. Real quick, Luke 12:24. And this is again about the ravens in Job 38:41. Just run these right behind each other. Y'all read all the meat in between. Give me Job 38:41. And then we're going to end it up with the second coming of Messiah if you're doing this. So that lets you know if you die in captivity and this is in your flesh, only if you, it's not what goes into you, it's what comes out of you. Does that mean I can eat anything? No, because if it comes out of me and I say it's okay to eat pork, I'm breaking the law. That defiles me. They say, but if I accidentally get fed some pork, it's going to be flushed down the toilet. It's going to the Mississippi River. Yeah, I'm going to be doubled over for a minute, but they're going to let me know to watch my diet better. Let's read some more real quick. Get them to
Luke chapter 12, verse 23 first.
Okay. Hold on, here a few pages flipping. Go ahead, we good.
The life is more than meat, and the body is more than raiment.
Don't y'all understand that the life is more than meat, and the body more than raiment? Your life it's not dependent on you stacking up 3 years of food, because you may not be able to get back to your storage bin where all your food is at. Or what you gonna do? You get back there and the locker open like our locker right there. You think it's open just because somebody would just peep it in there, or do you expect to see anything on them shelves?
Gone like good candy.
Gone like good candy. And you on a journey. Let's read some more.
24.
Consider
the raven.
Consider who?
The raven. For they neither sow nor reap, which neither have storehouse nor barn. And Yahweh feedeth them.
What Yahweh do?
Feedeth them. How much more are ye better than the fowl?
See, so what he's telling you is, look, the raven, I have to take care of the raven. If I don't take care of the raven, then you're going to have roadkill everywhere. Y'all ever come out and a squirrel in the street? And when you come back home from work, it's just a piece of squirrel tail, a feather there, just a little bit of, you like, what happened to the squirrel? The ravens came and got it. We can't have dead carcasses laying all over. That's their job, to eat roadkill. Right. That's why Ezekiel said, nothing unclean of the fowl, not dieth of itself, that don't eat blood. I ain't never put that in my soul. So we have to understand what that bird's purpose is, to make sure everything stays clean. If you came home every day and smelled dead, what would that do for you? Look, if somebody says a dead cat around here, we know a smell of a dead cat, don't we? It's a dead cat somewhere. Every day you come home, it's a dead cat somewhere. How you gonna sleep with a dead cat somewhere?
Right.
Let's read some more. What we at? Real quick, bro. What else to say? Okay, real quick. Did we get the other one?
No, we gotta get that other one.
Get that other one, Job 38:41.
Yeah.
And then this is homework. Sirach 48, 1 through 12 is going to talk about Elijah. It's going to talk about his feet. But y'all, the Most High will never break his laws. He'll never condemn us and tell us to be holy at the same time. He just wants to make sure we understand and we know his commandments. When something happened, he's trying us like a false prophet. Kill and eat. No, not so, Lord. No, wait a minute. You changing laws now? That's what the prophets always, that's what Peter had. Wait a minute, Lord, you changing laws? See, that's why you got to be careful in your dreams, because Satan can come in your dreams and says, yes, it's gobbling up time now. Yes, you may have your way with what you desire. Go ahead. Real quick, y'all, these are the last two. Job 38 and 41, what it say? Y'all read Sirach 41. We're going to close out with Isaiah 66 and 15, just to say what can't be in your body and you calling yourself saved. It's not what remnants get in there, y'all. We don't control no slaughterhouses, do we? So when you go to the marketplace and it say all 100% beef, who we got to trust? The manufacturer, don't we? Yeah. Or we got to get to cutting and cleaning cows ourselves in your apartment. What you going to do with that in the city limits? There you go again. He on the 3rd floor and blood dripping down into your apartment. Oh man, that's the dude upstairs, man.
Always killing.
Always killing something. Let's get some more. Where we at? So hurry up, y'all. We got to get on out of here.
Job chapter 38, verse 41.
What it say?
Who provided for the raven his food?
Who provide for the raven his food? See, we're more trying to concentrate on why a dirty bird brought Isaiah some food, but who keeps the raven alive? Go ahead.
When his young ones cry unto Yahweh, they wonder for lack of meat.
See, they wonder for lack of meat. He said, who gonna feed them? If it's up to us, we ain't gonna feed them. Right. Now, those damn raven, all him and them babies should die. Well, when them babies die out, then every day you come home, there's going to be an extra squirrel and a dead cat somewhere. Now you got double up smells. Somewhere. Isaiah 66 and 15. Y'all, we're going to close on out. Y'all read that homework, y'all. Y'all read Deuteronomy 12, 1 through 25, because it's going to talk about clean meat given to unclean individuals. It's going to almost sound like he's saying you can eat unclean. But he breaks it down, the roe and the heart, meaning male and female deer. Is that clean or not?
That's clean.
So when he's talking about the unclean, he's talking about the individual. If a man be with his wife at night, he's unclean till evening. That means you still can eat breakfast during me. You're not off limits because you were with your woman. The contamination period until evening is to make sure neither one of y'all start itching and scratching. That's what the evening to. It's a contamination period.
If y'all married and itching and scratching,
that's what we're talking about, bro. Look here. See, it don't play about that. It just says, so if what happened if you fell into a polygamy state and you had another wife, you can't go itching to number 2. Right. Now everybody's infected. That's why he say a man can't have a harlot. He said you can't bring that into because you don't know who she been with. You can't do it, y'all. It's too much, and that's why he keep pounding us out. And we have to talk over baby girl's head, but still provide the understanding. Right. Until we get our ministry going again for the short leggers. Just looking for a few to step up. Ain't pressuring you, y'all. But we got about 3-4 short leggers. Maybe we need a few more.
Don't look at
me. But we got to provide teaching for them. Where we at?
I can help you with that.
Real quick, y'all, this last one. Isaiah 66:15 and close on out.
66 and 15?
Yes, sir. Y'all also read 65, all of that, 65 and 4 tell you those behind one tree in the midst eating swine's flesh and saying, I know I'm saved. No, you ain't guaranteed the kingdom of heaven eating what the Most High say is an abomination. Right. And you can't get rid of the Old Testament either and say that's the Old Testament because if you get rid of this, you get rid of the second coming. Now you want to get rid of this? Let's read some more real quick. Who got it?
Isaiah 66:15.
What it say?
For behold, the Most High will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire.
When is that going to happen, y'all? The second coming. So if you say the Old Testament done away with, the second coming of Christ go away too. You can't have it both ways. You can't get rid of it. It says the law and the prophets. Not just the law nailed to the cross. It says, and the prophets. The law shall not fail. So if they say the law is nailed to the cross, you ask them, well, what about the prophets? I'll see you going too far. Yeah, we don't read that. Go ahead, finish that up, Elijah. For
by fire and by his word, his sword, will the Most High plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Most High shall be many. They that sanctify themselves.
See, when you sanctify yourself and say, I'm saved, you're sanctifying yourself. You're saved from what?
Nothing.
Go ahead.
And purify themselves in the gardens, behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh.
Eating what kind of flesh?
Swine's flesh. And the abomination.
Right.
And the mouse.
So it says a swine and a mouse is from the same family. So quit, if you believe you can eat swine and pork, then quit throwing that good meat away you catching behind the refrigerator and up under the dresser. Why you throwing out that good meat? And why we mad at them Chinese? Because they may want to cook a little rice and wraps. Go ahead, what else to say?
And the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed together, saith the Most High.
And why?
For I know their works and their thoughts. It shall come that I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory. And I will set a sign among them, and I will send those that escape of them unto the nations, to Tarshish, Hol, and Lud, that draw the bow, to Baal and Java, to the isles afar off, that have not heard my fame, neither have seen my glory.
They're going to see it. Go ahead.
They shall declare my glory among the Gentiles. And they shall bring all your brethren for an offering unto the Most High out of all nations.
Out of what nations?
All nations. Upon horses, and in chariots, and in litters, and upon mules, upon swift beasts, to my holy mountain Jerusalem, saith the Most High. As the children of Israel bring an offering in a clean vessel.
In a what kind of vessel?
Clean vessel into the house of the Most High. And I will also take of them for priests and Levites, saith the Most High. For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, saith the Most High, so shall your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Most High. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me. For their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorrent unto all flesh.
So the Most High said that's what's going to happen if I come back and you eating swine's flesh and say I'm saved. He said because you're not going to be saved. Because I have to bring you in clean.
Right.
Y'all, it's one thing, y'all. If you say you don't eat pork and y'all, we still go to fast food restaurants, you got traces of pork in you. That's why you say I ate that chicken sandwich and it just somewhat right. Boy, I exploded like I swallowed a rear end grenade. Because when you go to them restaurants, they don't bring out no Hebrew grill, do they? Hebrew in here, and they running with a grill. What you have? A turkey burger? Yes. Or do they put it right on there and you watch it cook with somebody else and bacon on there, long as a ruler?
They put the bacon on yours too.
Boy, look here, the juice is flying on it. And you pay for it. So y'all, we have to understand these things. It's not saying you can do it, but that will be purged in the draw. Because we asked for clean. And they gave us dirty, or they deceived us with dirt. Yo, that's not our responsibility. It will be wiped away from us. It's Mark 16th chapter when he said, if you drink any poison, if you eat any unclean thing, the Most High said, I'll wipe it out of your system. But long as you keep selecting what's on the list.
Being disobedient. Here comes the trick in that one.
Boy, look here. Scratching and itching. Look, you be scratching and itching like this, you throw a thing. Man, shrimps do that to me.
All right, family. We're going to get this closing prayer. And it's with the Most High's permission. In the name of His only begotten Son.
What you thinking about, Fred?
I'm tripping off the tongue. Just that quick.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Reading in the book of Psalms.
Yeah.
In the 79th chapter, it reads, O Yah, the heathen are coming to thine inheritance. Thy holy temple have they defiled. They have laid Jerusalem on heaps. The dead bodies of thy servants have they given to be meat unto the fowls of the heaven. The flesh of thy saints unto the beasts of the earth. Their blood have they shed like water round about Jerusalem, and there was none to bury them. We are become a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and derision to them that are round about us. How long, Yahweh? Will thou be angry forever? Shall thy jealousy burn like fire? Pour out thy wrath upon the heathens that have not known thee, and upon the kingdoms that have not called upon thy name. For they have devoured Jacob, and laid waste his dwelling place. Oh, remember not against us former iniquities. Let thy tender mercies speedily prevent us, for we are brought very low. Help us, O Yah, of our salvation, for the glory of thy name, and deliver us, and purge away our sins, for thy name's sake. Wherefore should the heathen say, where is their God? Let him be known among the heathen in our sight, by the revenging of the blood of thy servants which is shed. Let the sighing of the prisoner come before thee. According to the greatness of thy power, preserve thou those that are appointed to die. And render unto our neighbors sevenfold into their bosom their reproach, wherewith they have reproached thee, O Yahweh. So we, thy people, and sheep of thy pasture, will give thee thanks forever. We will show forth thy praise to all generations. Hallelujah! Say loud!
All praises, y'all. Y'all got to circle it too. We greatly appreciate it. And thank you, worldwide audience, for y'all continued support, y'all. And help us keep the ministry going, y'all. We got to stay strong. We're getting in them last days, y'all. You're going to have to study to show thyself approved. Or you're going to be cooking with man's dung.
The room, it's
going to be a dead